12? 12? God damn, dude.
Good shit, John.
We fucking made it.
How many episodes have the other guys done yet?
Who gives
I
a shit?
don't know.
I just want to maintain. I want to, like, be neck and neck with those dudes.
But
I just want to neck with those dudes.
Fuck that. If anything, we should just do more than them. And then
I mean, I
think
agree.
About it.
But, you know.
I mean, I'm sure they're cool dudes, but I mean, it's competition, nigga.
You figure we started at the same time. We try and at least...
Hey, what's up, Bryce? Alright, what's up? You gotta talk in my other ear. Alright, that's the last Bryce is gonna talk for this.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because honestly, like, a lot of really good albums are in stereo, and he can only listen to mono.
Oh,
Yeah. Also, like,
his story goes so much deeper than that, too, if you think
about it. Headphones are really fucking expensive. Like, Beats are like $150, and he can only enjoy like half of that. So it's like, why? He should just buy like the one.
Can you
he
just buy the beat?
Dude,
Can you
Instead
just
of
buy
he
the
can
beat?
go
Buy
on
the beat?
Craigslist and buy like a shitty pair of Beats. We're like, oh, it fucking sucks. Only the right ear works, and he's like, score.
Yeah.
Like, because the left ear doesn't matter anyway. He's like, all right,
It's just
nothing going in there anyway.
Doesn't
Really
he
much.
have beats too?
I feel like you
the
should
really
explain
expensive
that
ones?
this guy's deaf. Like, because anyone listening who doesn't know who that is
I mean, a few people know. This, our friend Bryce is deaf in his left ear.
The other one's not
Ear
like
infection
it.
as a baby? What a way to go.
Really, though.
So,
What shit doctors was he going to?
I don't know. I spread a rumor around in like late high school slash like
He got
early
fucked in the
college that he like fell on a pencil when he was younger.
I remember that.
And, I was,
pencil was standing
and people
straight up.
believed it, and I was like, you know how exact you have to be to fall on a pencil and like
Some
have it go in
goddamn-
your ear and destroy like your cochlear ducts?
Some
That was the
goddamn
bad
prankster
shit.
just put
They
that
were
shit like
fucking-
perfectly.
Oh, I guess you
Perfectly
could
vertical.
be like, oh, he was the guy in The Dark Knight who was a method actor.
He
Where,
was
like he
the
does
one.
the pencil trick.
He's the black guy.
Remember fucking Christopher Hendricks stabbing with a pencil? Like, the lead's still there. You can still see it in my hand.
The same thing happened to me with Song. His name is literally Song Chong. Do you remember him?
I do.
His dad owned a donut. What are those places? Just a donut shop. And he would.
What else would you call
He
it?
got away with his Asian shenanigans at school, just by bringing like weapons to school, just because his dad would bring Fat Mr. Prince like donuts and shit.
He brought weapons?
Shout out to Jonathan Petrosino. You remember Mr. Prince, that fat bastard?
What did he brought weapons to school? Like a fucking Ninja Turtle?
He would
what
like
did he bring?
fucking.
That's a weapon.
You
No,
know,
but I
like-
mean, like, he's got, like, the fucking ninja stars and shit, or, like, what?
got the
No,
topless?
like you know, like there's always those kids that bring like fucking screwdrivers to school, or like they'll just like shave down a pencil till it's like a stab.
The
Okay,
kid in
yeah.
John's class.
Dude, we see that shit with sticks all the time.
What was the kid's name in your class, John? That he made like a fucking little mini bow and arrow.
It was Dalton, dude.
Dalton, and this shit worked, dude. Like it's fucking stuck into the wall, and you're like, okay,
Dude, he get exposed
Literally,
for that?
he showed Mr. Smith. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Smith, look at this!" And he shoots a fucking pen into the wall, and it sticks like half an inch in there. And Mr. Smith's like, "All right, you're gonna need to come with me to the office."
everybody is like, hey, Mr. Smith, look, and just shoots him in the throat.
He's like, look at this, it just goes right in his eye.
Oh god.
Gotcha.
Rip.
Man, what was it like having him as a teacher? Because I only had him as a substitute, and it was always a great joy because it was just like the best classes.
He used to do this thing where, like, he had trivia every day, and he'd be like, a little bit of trivia for you. That's how he would start every class, and he'd
By
be
saying
like,
every fucking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So loud.
he would always say, like, does anyone know, and then, you know, whatever. And
Shaka
then
Khan.
every fucking time, I was just like, yeah, I know that. I'm not an idiot. I'm trying to remember, like, something he said where he was just like, does anyone know, like, some obscure fucking weird Trivial Pursuit answer? And I was just like, of course I do. Look at me.
Did he fall asleep when he was your teacher? Because every time we had him for a sub, he'd always fall asleep and we'd always fuck with him.
Yeah.
Every time.
You always.
I remember
He'd always fucking man. It was good.
he was the first person I ever saw that had an iPhone, or not an iPhone, sorry, an iPod, like that, like the OG
Really?
ones. Because, and then same thing with Mr. Levitsky. You guys remember him, right? Did
Yeah.
you meet him? He was the first person I ever saw with an actual iPhone that I actually knew, and it blew my mind back then. Because remember how fucking thick iPhones were?
Do you
Yes.
remember?
They were so shitty, like by
This is
today's
bricks.
standards. Back then, if you saw one, they're like, that dude's got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Remember when
Trendy.
fucking iPhones first came out? You can only get them on AT&T. Like, that
Yeah.
seems like such a distant memory now. Because remember, that was like a huge sticking point for a lot of people. They're like, fuck that. I'm
You
not
know
gonna
why
get
they
AT&T.
stopped doing that? Because they're like, wait, like AT&T's paying this small amount of money to
Well, didn't they
have
have
this.
like a 2-year contract?
They had a contract for like 4 years, but they're like, they paid them money.
That
Like,
was
we'll give
iPhone
you
1
$10
and
million
2.
to only sell to us, and then everyone else is like, you know how much more money you'd make just off people buying phones if you
Yeah.
didn't have a contract?
Yeah.
So it's like, geez.
Damn.
But they probably made a shitload. I mean, when they first signed that contract, I bet. Because
I think
people
it was
still
the
wanted
first
it. People
3.
still bought them. They
That's
have.
that's a weird statistic where it's like more people have iPhones, and just iPhones, not even a smartphone. More people have iPhones than have indoor plumbing. So somewhere in the South, someone's got a fucking 4G LTE iPhone 6. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'll be right back. I go take a shit. Oh, it's snowing out." Like that blows my mind. It's like, dude,
That's intense.
buy a toilet and put it in your house. Like,
Service out here though.
he's like, I guess you could say
Yeah,
I got shitty service.
I just remember Dad was always mad because it's just like, you guys only want those just a status symbol, and I'm like, well, you're not wrong. I mean, first of all, in my opinion, it's the best like operating system for a phone. It's just like the easiest to use.
Yeah, it's like there's a
Fuck
reason
yeah.
they call it so easy. Babies can use it.
Yeah, but I mean, on top of that, though, he's kind of right. It's like, I mean, if you don't have some kind of phone, like, you look broke as fuck. You know
Honestly,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nick and Jordan. Well, Nick got the 6,
I got
the
S6.
Galaxy S6, and then Jordan got the Galaxy Edge, which they're both pretty rad. Like I
Yeah, those
honestly
are-
would consider getting one of those if I were to upgrade right now.
Yeah, too. I mean, those are nice phones too. I guess.
I've had problems with it though. I've only had it for 2 months and I already okay. So I charged it and it was full and I drained it and so it drained to 0 and died and it couldn't turn back on. It said I had to repair the phone. I had to bring it to Verizon. Got a new phone. I've had the phone
Oh.
for 2 months.
Damn.
But
That's
besides
the
that,
six?
yeah, it's
I feel like that's
DS6?
the cost of having a phone out every year. Though, like they don't have
Yeah.
enough
Dude,
time
and they
to
just-
R&D
Well, it's like
that
the-
shit.
Honestly, it's
video
probably
game
like
thing,
pretty
where they ship
organized
them.
too.
I just saw
Like
a
I would
commercial.
imagine like whenever they come up with a new phone, they're like, let's find some way to make this fuck up just to get these idiots to buy a new one.
Yeah.
Well, like, isn't there? I mean, I'm not a gamer, but like, isn't there a problem with people shipping like video games that aren't really finished? Like, you have to download a bunch of.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a huge
Yeah.
one. That's what DLC
Cartridges.
is.
I heard the new
DLC just
Batman
more money.
on PC, anyways, is like really.
They
bad.
didn't. Most companies when they release a game, they'll port it to PC, but they take like Grand Theft Auto is a prime example of a company. They're like, all right, well, we know people want to play this on PC, so they waited 2 years to put it out, and like with all the shit they added to it, it's like it was worth paying $60 again because you can play it in 4K. You can there's a video editing mode where you can literally attach a camera to anything in the game, no matter what it is or how small it is. So like. Some guy attached a camera for recording onto a helicopter blade, and it just goes around really fucking quick. You can't really get anything cool with that, but it's just like small
Yeah,
things
you
like
can
that
do
will
the
keep
fact that you
people.
can do it.
The
Keep it on
replayability of that game became insanely ridiculous once it came to PC.
Somebody
so.
made a video the other day where it was it was the intro to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but like redone.
Dude, someone recreated the entire scene from Terminator 2, like the most famous scene where like he has the Gatling
Oh,
gun
in
at the
GTA.
third story of the building, and it's like him shooting cars. And not only did they recreate it, they made the guy look like the T-2000 or whatever. Or no, he's the T-1000, Arnold. And he's like, his face is gone, and he has like the red eye, and like his arm, like, you know that scene where he like cuts his arm off?
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, did you guys watch that as like a young
As
kid?
a child, it scarred me.
That fucking scene where
There's
he's
fucking
like,
metal under his arm.
he's
I don't know what to
forcing,
do about this.
what's that guy's name, Rob? You know, the black guy who works for Cyberdyne.
I was thinking Miles Dyson.
With the
Yeah,
black dude?
remember he's like, look, and like starts fucking cutting into his arm, and like when I was a kid, that
And then
fucking,
his wife is like, ah! She has this, like the craziest reaction.
and then like the kids in the room, it's like, oh
Yeah.
jeez.
No, because remember, fucking the kid. He's like, hey, why don't you show me your toys? And then like they go off into the kid's room.
Oh, yeah,
Because he's playing with the remote control car, and then fucking like they, Linda Hamilton goes to like snipe the dude, and then he's like, get on the ground, and all this shit. It's fucking and the little kids there. That's a great scene, dude. That whole movie
If
is
you
so
think
rad.
about it, so many movies have copied that where it's like they're being followed, and it just turns out it's an RC car.
Yeah.
Like even
Oh,
The Purge.
fucking, yeah, The Purge was like huge on that.
Yeah, which. I mean, The Purge Anarchy was way better than The Purge 1.
It was
That's what I
very
heard. I
enjoyable.
still haven't seen it yet.
Like it was enjoyable to watch. That's as far
I
as it
didn't
goes.
hate the first one. I thought it was
Exactly,
alright.
dude. People gave so much
Ethan
shit
Hawke
for the
carried
Purge.
it, for sure.
You really, yeah. Ethan Hawke carries a lot of movies.
Like I know, like a lot of people were mad about the fact because they're like, you have this entire fucking world to expand on, and you dumb it down to one fucking house for the entirety of the movie. Like, there's an entire fucking nation going ape shit all
Well,
across.
but you gotta figure the
and you dumb
whole
it down to one house.
the whole
That's
pitch
just
was it's like how can we shoot a movie that's set in one location, and then somebody just went overboard with like creating this backstory that to where when you're watching the movie you're like I'm more interested in like the backstory, like how did they
That is
establish?
true.
I guarantee you that there's going to be a prequel where they do the first Purge or something, and they'll be like, you know what I'm talking about? Where like
yeah,
they'll-
that's a good like the big. I think a big portion would be like do the first Purge as a prequel because then you can see like how big of an impact did this actually make on the nation when it first started out. Like, were there a bunch of people who were kind of contemplating like, can I really get away with fucking murder right now? Or there just other people were just like, fuck it, it's legal. Let's just go murder every fucking person we see.
Yeah, you know that'd be an interesting movie. Or you know what they could do even if they want to keep it low budget is like set it in a prison and be like, this is our trial run or something.
Oh,
that'd be pretty
That
good.
would be dope.
Like a prequel?
But just to cut
That'd
off
be
for a
a prequel,
second,
yeah.
Willie,
That'd be
I believe
fucked
you
up.
owe a shout out to someone.
Oh, I was gonna save it for the end, but I got a shout out for a dude that I went to high school with named David Corden. Donated $5 to the podcast, and I think I saved the message. But anyway, he left us a message saying he likes what we did, and he wants to see Let's Play videos and shit on YouTube. So
Who is this?
David Corden.
David Corden.
David Court, you remember him?
That beautiful motherfucker.
Yeah. You had his mom. Everyone here had his mom.
Everyone had his mom, dude. She was like, build a bicycle.
David Court, we all had your mom. No, because you went for high school. Like, his mom was a 6th grade teacher.
Yeah, I went 7th, so I didn't have his mom.
I didn't get that sweet.
Wait, before we get into that, I also got to give one more shout out to this hot as fuck. I can't reiterate enough of fucking bomb, just tickle bitties. Cosplayer, I'm at Anime Expo, named Luna Laney, super fucking cool chick, didn't give a shit that I was like walking up to random, was like, yo, let me get a picture. Very polite, very fucking down to earth, just fucking started grabbing my nip. It was a fucking great experience I've ever had at a convention. Can't tell you enough how dope she is. Gotta give a huge shout out to her. Check her out on fucking Instagram, Twitter, all that shit. You'll find her anywhere. She's starting to get a little big. She's gonna be the new Jessica Negi. Fuck that bitch. She's fake as fuck.
What's the name again?
The name of this cosplayer is Luna Laney. Look her up. Lunie. It's
what's her
fucking
Twitter
crazy.
handle?
What do you mean?
Probably something
Is that-
similar
it's
to
like
that.
at Luna-
Oh yeah, it's at Luna Laney, but it has like 3 eyes extra, so it's like Luna.
All included in the YouTube / SoundCloud.
Yeah, for sure. She's a
description.
super cool chick, dude. I hope to see that bitch at the next.
But speaking of that, we also have a YouTube channel. It's not at anything. It's just youtube.com/BestBros podcast, and there's already one
Oh, we
video.
got that? Like, no. It seems like
We
somebody would have come up with that.
No,
No,
dude,
it
I
was
got
insane.
everything except for an actual domain, but I don't have enough money to keep paying for Best Bros.
Yeah, we
Like,
have a Twitch called Best Bros Podcast, and we also have another one that I made called Twitch Best Bros Gamecast, in case we ever just get like any dedications to just gaming feature.
Well, eventually we can do like a live stream podcast, like how Joe Rogan and them do. And what they do is they simulcast it to YouTube, Twitch, and another website that I don't remember the name of. So,
I don't want people looking at this though.
well, that's why.
Well, you got a problem. We need to expand this shit.
Yeah, I mean, like we're trying to set up a studio, a small studio in a room somewhere, maybe my house, Nate's house, somewhere like that, where we can do retro video game cast or just just do like short 10-minute movie reviews and all
Sure,
that,
you can
or
movie reviews.
album reviews. Yeah, but so yeah, just follow us on YouTube. I'll start uploading them there too, and more content coming. And
Yep.
I'm working on getting shirts made. I was looking on Craigslist and other websites for graphic designers to like give us some ideas. I don't know how expensive that's going to be, but we have a donate button if anyone wants to help with that. So there's that. I'll include that in the description. It's already on the Facebook website. So there you go.
Hell yeah. Now that we got that settled, let's get some topics going. Fuck all the random shit.
Well, no, that was actually going to be my topic. Was Rob brought it up? He's like, this past year was one of the worst / best years for gaming, where games got rushed out. 2014 was, not 2015. Games were being rushed out before they're actually completed, and I wanted to know.
Yep, that was a huge thing.
I'll ask all of you guys: would you rather play a game sooner or wait an extra year to have it fucking fully ready?
Like, the only problem
That's
is the fact that
obvious, though.
DLC is a thing. Like, if you're gonna finish a product, just fucking keep me waiting, and I'll be that much more excited about it. Just give me the full fucking game. Because, like, even with Fallout, as much as I love that game, the fact that I had to buy 4 DLCs just to get the complete game is
You did
kind
the
of
Game of the
fucking
Year
control.
edition.
That's what I did. I got the Game of the Year edition. It was fucking $30
Oh,
4 fucking years later. That's the problem. 4 years later, you get the game at half price, whereas opposed to paying full price when it first comes out, plus another $60 to get the actual
Dude,
game.
it's like $20
like,
for each
when in
item.
like the full package. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a fucked up system, but it's so funny that like this system itself has fucking blown up in like the past 10 years, where there's so many games that just come out completely unfinished. The developers don't give half of a shit because they're like, yo, we can just get these stupid motherfuckers to buy our DLC $20 a pop. We can keep this going for like another 2 years. It doesn't even fucking matter. They're gonna buy it anyways. They like the game.
See, but you can only do that for so long before it just becomes a thing where it's like.
But that's like, it is a thing now, and people
That's
still
right.
don't care.
I'm not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination, and I know about it. Like, that's how, like, it's become a thing where it's like, people know. Like, I bet my dad's probably heard, like, oh, they keep shipping, because it's just a shitty thing to do. Any other industry, you know, if you went to the movies and saw Jurassic World and fucking half the effects weren't put in there yet, and it's like, well, buy the
You would
DVD
be
and you'll get the
pissed.
full version, which, by the way, anyone who runs movie studios that's listening to this, because I know you're all out there, don't take this idea and start doing that, because I'll be so fucking mad if, like, you go to the fucking, it's like,
Wait, hold on. Today is July 7th. This is Robert's idea.
because I could fucking
send
see,
yourself a fucking letter in the mail with this written description.
especially if, like, say George Lucas was doing the new Star Wars, which thank God he's not. You know, it would be like,
Thank Christ.
all right, here's the theatrical version, but like the good version will be on DVD. Except with his shit, it's usually the opposite. So that's not a problem.
Well, I think it's a case-by-case basis. When you have games that are mostly multiplayer faceted, I don't I don't know. Like a good example is right now a huge thing is games are coming out and they have to be online only. Do you guys remember when was it SimCity? I don't remember what sequel it is, but last year, 2013 and 2014, SimCity came out.
Well, it's EA, right? At one point,
decided
that
EA is notorious for being dog.
See, and I read an article where it was like EA got voted the worst like company or corporation or whatever in America or in the world, I think, for like 3 years running.
They have a launcher called Origin, and it's the next to League of Legends is the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever uses Origin.
Unless
well, like
they have to.
EA specifically, to point a finger, is fucking notorious for throwing out a game because like when you think EA, you think Battlefield, you think Need for Speed, you think SimCity. I think they were the ones.
Well, are any of their games
was just a colossal fuck up?
Yeah.
Are any of their games like licensed titles, like sports stuff? Because I know they used to do EA.
They do. They do Madden and all that every year.
See,
But those aren't a huge problem because that's just
it's just a new game.
Because my thing would be eventually companies would be like, well, we don't want to partner with you anymore because like you have a bad reputation. People aren't going to buy.
But here's
it.
the
The problem
problem
is like they still sell.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like any stupid motherfucker would be like,
It's
"Yo,
the same-
fucking Madden NFL 2022, let's get this shit."
But again, I feel like that can't last forever. Like people are gonna.
Well, we're seeing a backlash at Call of Duty right now, where it took almost fucking 8 games for people to go. Like, I'm kind of sick of the same formula. We need to do something different, and like they don't know what to do right now.
But it's like only a certain portion of that buyer base actually like went with that. There's still a huge community of Call of Duty players that don't get past
It-
shit. That is the same recipe going over.
The same
and over
rings
again.
true. If you don't want another Transformers, don't pay a ticket to go see the movie, even if your little brother wants to see it.
But
I
that's the
wish I
problem.
could make people understand that.
Yes,
as a
see,
movie
that's the
lover.
thing. As long as there's stupid motherfuckers out there, which is 99% of the world, they're still going to sell big tickets.
Here's the thing with the movie specifically, they're not making them for Americans anymore. That's why they premiere
it's
overseas
China now,
first.
isn't
And
it?
China is
Dude,
the biggest.
Chinese eat that shit up.
That's why there's an Iron Man 3 cut where there's like some Chinese movie star. There's like it's like an extra 15 or 30 minutes or something where it's like he's a doctor. I don't know. I shouldn't talk about things I don't know about. But it's something where there's like a Chinese guy who's a popular movie star over there, and they film scenes specifically for the Chinese cut of that movie. Or like but here's the good version of that was Looper. Remember Looper? They were gonna set the part where he goes to France, but that was actually in the original script. But like China was like, we'll give you some money if you film some stuff over here, and it's like. He found a way to make that interesting and relevant to the plot, even.
Wasn't that the whole reason they went to Shanghai?
Yeah.
I heard originally it was going to be a completely different country, but...
It was going to be France originally. Because he talks about it in the movie, he's like, I'm going to go to France, and then remember he's like,
he's like,
go
no,
to China.
I want to go to Shanghai. Like, trust me, kid, I'm from the future.
But that's
Go to
one
Shanghai.
movie in like,
And they actually played it right.
Well,
Like,
another one
that's
you
a
can
smart way
point
to go
out
about
is
it.
The Dark Knight. Like that was one of the first movies to be funded by a Chinese country.
Because you could take
and
the
that
whole
scene
out.
was really cool. Like where he goes to China and then exfiltrates that dude from the building into like the Fulton.
It's where he
recovery
jumps out of the
system.
plane, but then he like attaches back to the plane and it flies off.
Yeah, they call it the Fulton system, I guess. That's a huge thing in Metal Gear. But so yeah, my point is like it depends on the game and all that and the situation. If it's a game that's not heavily funded, it's not a AAA title. A AAA title is something where you have a game like Battlefield. Battlefield is a AAA title to its core. It's like it already has a built-in audience. It's a fucking $100 million game. They're going to spend the money on it.
The servers still always suck every
Exactly.
time it comes out, though.
Again, and then you
time.
have games like Metal Gear Solid, which is also a AAA title, but Hideo Kojima won't release it until he's done with it. And while he's like, all right, well, if we're gonna make this game delayed, I'm gonna put a shitload of Easter eggs in it. That's why anytime I play a Metal Gear, there's just thousands and thousands of Easter eggs in it. So it's like it's almost worth the wait. And for a game like Fallout or Half-Life, I don't know if they're ever making another Half-Life.
They aren't.
They went on record saying that if they were, they'd know it would be. It just wouldn't be popular because they're like, well, we don't want another Duke Nukem on our hands.
I don't give a fuck, dude. Somebody is gonna make a mod of Half-Life 3 and it's gonna be epic.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be worth the wait.
true.
Well, isn't there also aren't people complaining that there's like too many fucking Call of Duties and Battlefields? Like they put like 5 a year out or something. Wasn't there like again? I don't know anything about video games, but isn't there like
You're pretty on point. I mean,
Didn't you tell me that like is it Call of Duty that it's like split in two? There's like Black
there's
Ops
two
and-
companies. There's Treyarch and then there's Activision. So you have Treyarch, which I believe does.
They do like the World at War one.
They made a
They
Spider-Man
do all like the
game once,
Black
I think.
Ops and World at War. No, you're thinking Activision.
All
No,
the zombies ones.
There was I swear I know
Who's
Treyarch
that
was something.
Dear.
Oh.
He was getting his phone charger.
Oh hell yeah!
Cut that shit out. It's fine.
No, that's cool. Shout out to
Yeah,
Nadir. Probably doesn't listen to this shit.
Indian
hey,
fuck.
Nadir.
Where's Nadir from? I don't know.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you have two companies that are working round the clock to put out a game every year. So no matter what happens, every November there's gonna be another Call of Duty. And every year, everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be shit," and every year people keep buying it, and they keep
Mostly young people like Joel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Joel. I mean, but Joel eventually will hit an age where he's just like, "This is garbage," and he's not gonna do it anymore. Because it's like,
I also think that like this whole like fad of like DLC bait coming out is also one of the main reasons that indie games have blown up so much in the past like 5 years.
see, that's interesting because again, I'm not a gamer. I don't know shit about. I'm not a
so,
rapper.
dude, the thing,
But I do know that like indie games are
well, like
fucking
the
huge
beauty
right
of
now.
indie games is like almost every indie game is just a throwback to some other
Yeah.
like recent or like previous title that's come out in like the fucking 80s or 90s that have been like the foreground for like platformers, first-person shooters, MMOs,
Like what's
any
the
of
one
that shit.
Hotline Miami? That's kind of
Hotline
like
Miami, yeah, that's a perfect example because what they do is they make these little fucking like 16 to like 32-bit games that have shit graphics, but it actually has a good developing story and decent gameplay that has good replayability.
because it's like a passion project. They care
Exactly.
about what they're making.
Yes, the whole reason that indie games came out is because they're like, yo, like what's like we're seeing the mainstream of gaming and we just want to do our own thing. Like we want to do what we're passionate about rather than supposed to like, yo, what can be the next fucking Call of Duty? So they make their own FPS that has some kind of like you said, genuine passion where they put in like, yo, let's make this game like an entire fucking reference to Akira or something that we're actually into. Whereas opposed to Call of Duty, there's like, yo, let's get Kevin Spacey and it'll sell 2 fucking billion copies.
Yeah.
Wait a
Fucking
minute.
dog.
Kevin Spacey was in not Ghost, but whatever came after Ghost.
Was it a good game?
Advanced
or-
Warfare? No.
No, he was the selling point. Like, yo, it's Kevin fucking Spacey.
Wasn't Ice
He's
Cube
not
in one of those
fucking-
games too?
Ice Cube was in Black Ops 1.
I know I think it was.
Dude,
he
I
in
want to see that
World War II?
NWA movie.
No, he
so
was in
bad.
Black Ops because they recreated the scene from the Deer Hunter and
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
the revolver
the
scene.
scene where they're playing
yeah, Russian
Russian
roulette.
roulette.
Dude,
which
I
was-
would love someone to put out a video game that's just famous scenes from movies that you play through.
Yeah.
Which
Honestly, you'd be
might as well just be
surprised
Grand
how
Theft
many are
Auto.
out there that like there's a lot of games out there that will reference like just some key feature of like either a movie or a previous game or a novel or something that they know of.
The first Call of Duty was literally like a remake of Band of Brothers. I mean, not Band of Brothers. Saving Private Ryan kind of.
Yeah.
when was the first Call of Duty game?
It was literally like PS2.
Yeah,
Xbox
probably like
One.
late '90s, early 2000s.
N64, PlayStation 1.
Whatever happened to like?
Oh, that was Medal of Honor. My bad.
Ghost
Yeah.
Recon
Oh, no,
or
that's what I
whatever?
was thinking.
Tom
Oh,
Clancy.
Dude, Tom Clancy's coming out with like 5 games this year alone. That
Oh,
franchise
dude,
is
Rainbow
fucking
Six.
massive.
Well, they
That's
were
kinda
making a
cool.
game that got canceled because you play as the terrorist and like no one was having
I'd
that.
play
No
that.
way.
I would play that.
But here's the thing: like, is every one of those games based off a Tom Clancy novel, or is it just like a selling point
I
for a
mean,
name?
I
Not
couldn't-
at all. I don't think. 'Cause first
I
of all,
couldn't
Tom
tell you
Clancy doesn't
because-
write anymore. I don't even know if he's still alive.
No.
But I know everything that has Tom Clancy's name on it. If you look like all the books, if you look down further, there's like in a tiny font, it'll be like with and then whoever actually wrote the novel.
Oh,
So essentially, because this is huge in the book
so it's just
world.
like a figurehead at this point.
Yeah, like you know James Patterson. Have you ever
I was
heard?
literally about to say he's the guy that wrote the Maximum Flight or something.
Maximum Ride,
Maximum
but
Ride.
also, but he does like he writes a shitload of stuff. Basically, every time anything like when Hunger Games hit it big, he wrote like his version of Hunger Games, but he didn't write it. He came up with the concept, and then somebody else wrote it, which is fucked up because he didn't actually come up with the concept. He saw that it was doing well elsewhere and was
But
like, "Hey, let's
does he
hijack
get all
that
the credit
concept."
for it?
If you think
Yeah,
about it, he's
it's his name is on the book, you know.
He's basically the character from Silicon Valley, where he like he's hosting a house of people that like actually
Yeah.
do code, but he's like I create
Oh,
with
but he takes the credit for all of it.
What I find
Yeah,
hilarious
that's
about that
weird.
though is that fucking
TJ
Stephen
Miller.
King cannot stand that dude, James
Oh, yeah.
Patterson, because he doesn't actually write his own novels. Like,
Well, because
I mean,
think
that's
about
a
it,
valid
when-
reason.
if you're
yeah.
if you're like
especially if you're Stephen King and you've written like 60 novels in a
Oh
lifetime.
god,
like,
yes, dude, he probably shits all over that.
he's like,
kid.
God damn it, that's not how it works.
Sadly,
it's
in this day
almost
and age-
like a real version of a South Park episode, where, like with M Night Shyamalan. It's like, no, that's not a plot device. That's a
He's
twist.
like, again, that's a twist.
Like,
It's not a-
He's like, I don't know the difference.
Like, we know you don't.
Yeah.
I low-key want to see that new one though.
Which one?
fucking, is it The Visit? Where like
Oh
their grandma
yeah.
and because
Oh,
I don't know
the
something
granny.
about that movie. I'm kind of like, I'll check that out. Like, I might not pay to see it, but
It's almost like you want to watch the movie just so you could watch the Your Movie Sucks review of it, because that guy makes the funniest, like, the shit where he reviewed
that dude's blowing up
Avatar
right now,
was
too.
amazing because
Is
he
he?
just took a really
Yeah.
cringeworthy scene and put a laugh track to it, so it's even better.
Yeah. I was like, Avatar, the fucking James Cameron. And I was like, oh wait, no, the last.
Like, the only thing that's sad about Your Movie Sucks is like sometimes he'll just completely analyze and destroy a movie that you're really into. Like I would say,
Toy Story 3
is probably my prime example.
Which
where,
He destroyed Guardians.
like the only problem is like
He did?
he breaks down every nitpicky thing you can find in a movie, which I'm perfectly okay with because I didn't see that movie to point out every fucking thing they did wrong. I'm watching it for a decent plot and just to see what happens. I'm
But
not
he-
gonna be like, yo, for some reason this guy's fucking camera shadow is
Yeah.
just sitting on top of him and I don't know the fuck why. So fuck this entire movie.
His actual like numerical ratings that he gives though are usually pretty fair. Like,
Oh, yeah,
he'll give
dude,
something,
like-
he'll tear it apart but still give it like a 7.
His top 10 lists are always fucking just beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. That guy's on point. His music, not so much. Like, I mean,
The music he makes.
it's like I always,
it's pretty dog
it's
shit.
like I always don't want to I don't want to talk shit on like another internet person because it's like, what if we like chill with that dude someday? And I like what he does.
Chill, like, I'll be down to chill with him, be like, dude, like real talk, like Rock Band's cool, but it had to be a selling point, right? Like you don't actually enjoy that music. Oh, you do. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it, but I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect him because
Yeah,
he'll be like, your podcast sucks. It's like his next
.org.
thing. He's like, all right, we're gonna talk about BestBros today, and it's just a 9-hour
Fucking
YouTube
garbage
video about-
podcast.
Like for sure, I definitely give the guy like hands down respect for the fact that he even got his music on a Rock Band because that's a feat in and of
True.
itself.
Yeah.
But I can't say I like your music because I'd be just lying to your face. So
I'll
if
just say
anything,
it's not for me.
he should respect us more for the fact that like, hey, I
Being
respect you
honest.
that you got your shit going, but I don't fucking like your music. No disrespect. It's just not my fucking taste.
Did they ever make like a rock band where you rap? Like, because that seems like
It
it'd
was
be a,
there was one that was like, it was literally called like Def Jam
that seems like
Battle.
a smart idea because like
They did
certain
DJ
things would be
Hero.
fucking hard to like
DJ Heroes.
keep that flow or whatever. What's up? Isn't there a new rock band coming?
Yeah,
There is.
Should I be hype or?
It's supposed to be like the revamp. They're trying to bring Rock Band like back into the scene.
So they just created.
It's
But-
been long enough.
Well,
I feel
like
like
before that, they had fucking Rocksmith, or maybe it was like
Isn't that the one you plug
it
into
was
the
a
actual
a real
it was a
guitar,
toy guitar
yeah.
that
Wait,
actually had chords
quick
on it.
shout outs to Doug Farrell. He did the Rocksmith challenge, and I don't remember him ever posting about how successful it was. So, post on our wall when you hear this about what your experience was like with that.
yeah, I'd be curious.
Almost, if we ever have him on, I kind of want to hear how that went because like
Well,
when he
what
was
is this
talking about,
challenge?
it's like it's a 60-day challenge where you sit there and you play the game for an hour a day, and like the idea is that you get progressively better and you can actually start playing chords.
That's
and
like an
connect to
official
them.
mode on the game, though, right? It's not just
Yeah,
like a
it's
random
like
thing.
it's one of the story modes, I believe. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd like to hear how that
You
went.
actually learned how to play guitar.
I mean, from my understanding, Doug knew how to play guitar already a little
Yeah, I
bit.
think so.
I mean, I feel like most people can play something.
Well,
I
you know
can't.
what would interest me on a fucking new rock band would be if they put in like a real like. I don't play a lot of video games, but my understanding is there's like soccer and football games where you sort of like manage a team or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
If they did something like that on Rock Band where it's like a really in
You're like a
depth.
PR or something.
Yeah, I'd be more interested in playing as a person in the band, but like I think it'd be interesting if sort of like say you're playing like a solo run or whatever, and then it's like okay now you have to like audition bandmates, and then like stuff like randomly your guy would fucking OD or something, and then you have to like I think that'd be pretty cool. Like
It's like an RPG game where it's like Steve your drummer OD'd on heroin.
you know what,
so you have to
dude?
find a replacement.
Because didn't they make a Fallout mobile game? That'd be an interesting mobile
Oh,
game.
dude,
like
I've been playing the shit out of
like
that.
a Rock Band tour game or something on like your phone where you're fucking. It's like an RPG and you sort of like level up on like
Pat, you heard it here, folks. Don't be stealing our shit.
as ideas incorporated on BestBros.
I don't think Bethesda, because that game was made in house by Bethesda. It's called Fallout Vault, I think. I have it on my phone. I should know it.
Did it come out
Your
on
game
Android
phone?
yet?
What's up?
Did it come out on Android yet?
It's called Fallout Shelter. I'm not sure when it's coming out for Android, but it's the #1 game still on the iTunes market,
Wow.
which shows you that like people are playing it. And I still have said this before. I want to know the figure of how many people are gonna buy Fallout 4, have never played Fallout 3 or any of the OG games. They just were like, oh, this Fallout Shelter game's kind of cool. I'm gonna look up the trailer.
Dude,
and then,
that
like,
was the major selling point for me. Just the fact that it has Fallout in the title, I'm like, all right, this is the next closest thing I'm gonna get to Fallout 4. So
Before
obviously, I'm gonna play the living shit out of this game. The only problem with it is that it literally requires time out of your day in order to progress in the game.
Like a fucking
So
Tamagotchi.
like honestly, dude, like other than the fact that you can send people out to try to scavenge shit, which after a certain amount of time they'll find things. Other than that, the game will completely freeze until you come back. So you can like upgrade your fucking like building or whatever, say like you want to get more power. So it'll freeze that, and when you come back, it'll say like, all right, we have this bit of power for you, and every certain like amount of time we get more and more power, which raises the bar, which allows you to like function your entire vault. And the only thing is like if you stop that, it'll just freeze. So the next time you come over, everything will be refreshed, which is fucking great. But in the amount of time that it froze, it also like spans the amount of time that you've been gone. And as you're gone, it takes more energy, more food, more water, all of that.
Ugh.
So the longer you're gone, the more it takes up. But when you come back, it's only refreshed to a certain extent. So you pop one thing of like, say I got more water, so my bar will fill up. But after a certain extent of that bar, it's gonna take more and more water to like keep my people elevated. So after a certain point, you just get radiation because you're not getting enough water in your fucking system. And after that,
Are
you're
we
just
still
like,
talking about a video
oh,
game?
fuck, yes.
I was just
There's-
looking at Rob the entire
there's
time.
this
and
many
he's just
mechanics.
smiling, like, are you fucking kidding?
There's
me?
like,
I gotta
mechanics
get my
in a
people
fucking app
hydrated,
game.
dude. Like, I'm
It's
like,
great.
what?
Do you have to keep them hydrated? You have to keep them fed. You have to keep them happy. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah,
worse than any
the
other
consequences will never be the same either
Uh-huh.
because if your water goes sort of below a certain point, they'll still drink water, but it's like shit water, so like they get radiation
I've been
sickness.
there.
And then and like their productivity becomes lower if they have no food, and then like it's a great, like I don't know who decided to do that there, but like they clearly made some profit off it because It's one of those games where you can buy you get lunch boxes in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it's
and
like
each lunch
any
box
other
comes with
iOS
5
where-
cards, and the cards can give you more stim packs, which are like that game's version of health. Or you can get caps, which is the...
Right.
If anyone knows Fallout, caps are the money in that game.
You don't necessarily have to pay to win, but you have the option.
Yeah. So, and I know that there's people out there because Kim Kardashian has a game, and I think last year she made like $10 million off of fucking
Crazy.
a game she paid I think $30,000 to make.
I
So
just saw a thing. What's
What
his
do
name?
you do? Just,
PewDiePie
like,
made
you
like
play as
$7
Kim
million
Kardashian
last year.
Or no,
How many plastic
I
surgeries
listened
can I get
to
today?
shout outs to the Indoor Kids. It's like a podcast featuring Camille Nanjiani and his wife.
Yeah, they need our help. Like,
No, they don't. But I mean,
go
like,
check out this small independent.
I feel like it's bad
Talk
to
about
just
us?
listen to one podcast because we get burnt out. Like I personally will go from podcast to podcast. Like right now I'm listening to the Indoor Kids a lot, and they had Jessica Chobot on there. And she was talking about this game, and it's like the idea is you're a girl who's working at like a clothing shop, like one of those ones where everything's overpriced and there's
Fucking,
10.
what is it, like Forever 21? That
The
shit Brittany worked at?
No. Forever 21. That's
It's
you're
like
thinking of Styles for Less, but
Oh, yeah,
Forever,
that's what it was. Styles for Less.
Styles for Less
the
and Forever
most-
21 are like actually really cheap clothes. It's like the Marshalls for girls where they have like pretty decent shit there, but it's cheap.
I got you.
I'm talking about those boutique stores where like
Oh, like Banana
downtown
Republic and all that
Redlands.
shit?
they have a $150 shirt and there's there's a DJ in the back like Hannibal
Like
Buress.
a
Yeah, like
fucking
fucking
coffee
Banana
shop.
Republic,
Yeah.
Nordstrom's, all that.
You
bullshit.
play as this girl
Dude,
who's
there's
working
worse
there, and
than
then
that.
just so happens that Kim Kardashian is going in there to shop because she has a party to get to tonight.
Uh-oh.
But oh no, her limousine breaks down. Her fucking
Oh, fuck.
$400,000 Rolls Royce or however much they
Kanye,
cost.
dude. That's like that's
It
how to beat the
Hit
game.
up Yeezy, dude.
Yeah, like
What do you do as a shop owner who sells shirts? How do you help her?
you give her a ride to the party,
How do you
and
help
she
her?
gets your phone number in the game. So she calls you. She's like, "Hey, you're not as pretty as me, but I trust you. Do you want to become a model?" So the entire game it's an RPG where you become a model and you go to fashion shoots and you market your clothing and shit
Wait,
like that.
so the entire part of the game is to become a model so that you can
You
pay
become
to repair
bigger
a
than Kim
limo?
Kardashian, essentially. But
To pay
and
for the
it's a heavily a pay to win game. They're like, oh no, send me more cell phone battery so I can call my friends to a photo shoot.
Oh, fuck, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
and like,
Jesus, dude,
That's a real dilemma.
and don't quote me on the cell phone thing, but I know there's like a weird energy. You know when you play games on Facebook, like you can
Yeah.
only play 5 times and need more energy.
Oh, yeah, it's classic.
We've all
Fighting
gotten
in a
those
nutshell.
requests from your friends. It's like, send me more lives, bruh.
Yeah.
The worst
Candy
is when
Crush,
you're
dude.
the only one playing a game
And you're like, hey, can you
somebody please help me.
That's fucking Candy Crush for me. No
real-
one played
real
that
talk.
shit.
Yeah, I haven't played Candy Crush in so long.
Real talk, Robert has got me to play video games just to send him lives.
Well, there's times when I would log into your Facebook and send me lives via your Facebook. Like, oh man, what a world we live in. Oh shit, remember that fucking? It was like a Facebook. It was like a screenshot from Facebook, and it was like, this chick was like, "Hey, send my mom lives on Candy
Uh-oh.
Crush," and then like the very next post was like, "Sorry everybody, my mom hacked my Facebook account." To like,
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
shout out to mom for never doing Facebook. Thank God.
No, she has one. Like her and dad have one. They just don't know we do.
Yeah, dude,
Wait,
my
your
mom
dad
tried to
has
invite
one?
me for the
Yeah, my
past,
dad
like,
has
4
one. My dad
years.
got one to like reconnect with old high school friends, and I remember him
Oh,
talking
he's
about
trying to
it.
get it, dude.
And then he like literally texted like, "My friends suck now," and I was like,
Yeah, he told me the same thing. He's like, I looked up this girl I used to date, and I don't know if I just got old, but God, she's busted. I mean, he didn't say it like that. But I was just like, Dad, welcome to the internet. Like,
and Dad's like, back in the day, the ass was fat, but I mean, no, yeah, he was just like, man, my friends all suck now, and I was like, yeah, you're from Blythe, dude. Like,
man.
anyone who's from Blythe,
Dude, just the
California,
name-
shout outs to you for living
The
in that
title
hell.
Blythe, like, I wouldn't want to fucking live
The
there.
name
Dude,
is
dude,
horrible.
Like, Blythe is
Yeah,
just a
it's
few
just
letters
awful.
away from
It's
meth,
hot as
so.
shit.
No, Blythe is just a few letters away
Yeah,
from
dude.
Blight.
That's true,
Oh,
too. I mean, that's
was
the
that stop
obvious
we
joke.
took? Like, the bathrooms and shit, that was Blythe?
The one where we went behind the wall.
That little, like, random park where you just fucking pull over, went in the fucking bathroom stall and just...
It's on the
No,
border
no,
of California and Arizona.
That was,
so.
It's
that
literally
was
like the-
before that.
If you're going to Arizona, you
There's
have
one
to
where it
go.
was just like all dirt, and we went and we had
That
to
sounds
hide
like the
behind
majority of our trip.
wall. Yeah.
Where'd you
Yeah,
go,
we-
Vegas?
We went to
Yeah.
Arizona.
Oh, yeah, we
Arizona.
did it,
Yeah, it's on the border, so
Fucking
I'll be
We went to
Tucson,
Tucson,
son.
so like the other
Dude,
side of
Tucson
Arizona.
knows what's up. Those fuckers know how to party.
What were you doing in Arizona, like, for a while?
Mario used to go
Mario-
to U of A.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we went to go. Me, him, and Nick went to go visit them for a while because they have this annual party there called what is it? Seasons?
That was the
Yeah. Oh, that was the name of the apartment complex. They had this huge fucking party that we went to, and it was dope as fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Nice.
Just
The only sad part about that entire whole like festivity
we brought
is
the hookah.
there was that, and there was one pool there that everyone mobbed in. And as soon as people started getting out, you look at this pool that was crystal clear when you first get there,
Oh,
and it's
God,
just
it's
the
brown.
dirtiest fucking shit water you've ever seen in your life.
Because everyone is dancing on
And
the
at that
grass
point,
right
you're just
next
like,
to it.
alright, I'm not going anywhere near that fucking water. But there's a dance floor right next to it, so goddamn, I'm about to get down.
Dude, that turned to all mud though.
But bro, don't touch that fucking water, because you will get AIDS.
Before I want to bring up a story you guys told me about there, but did Dad text you while he was in Arizona, or while they're in Vegas this past weekend, where I guess Joel was in the pool, and like the lifeguard was like, "Everybody out of the pool."
Joel's in there. Everybody
No,
out.
apparently someone like pooped in the pool at the hotel that we were staying at.
You ever
and
go to Babe Ruth?
I'm gonna. I don't know.
Do they Caddyshack?
I was saying, they fucking Caddyshack it?
Caddyshack it, dude.
I'll read you guys
That's a better
the
question.
text message.
Has to have been Joel.
Let's see. FYI, we were at the pool. Lifeguard yells, "Everyone out of the pool. Some dudes in the pool."
Dude.
And I was like, "Some dudes in the pool." And then 3 hours later at work, I was like, "Oh, someone doo-dooed in the pool." Is what my dad was trying to tell me.
Either that or it means the lifeguards from Cali.
He's like, "Some dudes in the pool, like everybody out." Like, I don't like when dudes are in the pool. Like, fucking. But yeah, you should tell Rob that story about how like you pissed off the
You should tell
RA.
Rob that story.
Oh, okay. All right. So when we go to Tucson, as you should already know, which I'll reiterate, our friend Mario went to a University of Arizona for what was it, a year?
He went for a year.
Yeah, that's when he went his freshman year. So we come back a year later to
get his
to get his stuff and to go and visit his old dormies with Shane and Lloyd.
Shout out
Dope
to Shane and
motherfuckers,
Lloyd.
dude.
Never met you. but
Shout
you
out to
guys
Shane
sound
and
like great
Lloyd,
guys.
you fucking Native American bastards. You're rich as shit. You bought Crown Royal the first night. It
All
was
the
fucking
Crown Royal, like
dank.
every night.
Hell yes, dude. But
Wait, I'm like, I don't drink very much or at all. How much is Crown Royale?
Crown Royal is $45 for a fifth.
Well, if you've ever seen the fucking bottle it comes in, like...
Dude, you get a chalk bag when you buy Crown Royal.
Oh, yeah, I saw you have a chalk bag.
Yes,
that says
it's
Crown
amazing.
Royale. Now, is that like okay? Again, Crown Royale is like a whiskey or
Yeah.
Crown Royal
Canadian
is a
whiskey.
Canadian
whiskey.
Royal Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the
Uh,
maple Crown Royal. Oh my god, so good.
But anyway, yeah, enough of that shit. Alright,
I've
so
literally never had Crown Royale.
so while we're there, we're staying
Expensive,
at Shane and
though. It's
Lloyd's
expensive.
dorm, which was fucking great, dude. Their AC was amazing.
It was
just
too
too goddamn cold.
Yeah, you honestly
middle of
can't live in
summer.
here.
Dude, we were in the dead of summer in Arizona, and we were freezing our asses off at night because the AC was too loud.
It was too loud. The AC was too loud.
So we're staying at these dorms, and as we like walking around, like we're learning like all the different fucking areas and all that. We see the dorm, and we see these posters for this guy who's trying to be like the new. I don't know. It was like he's trying to be the president of like some. I don't know, statutory horse shit within the community of college that
Was
no
his
one
name
gave.
Honest Nate? Honest.
No, it was
Honest
Gabe.
Honest
it was
Gabe.
fucking Gabe.
Honest Gabe, dude.
Yeah, that's
Shout
right.
out
His
to
name.
Honest Gabe.
So-
It's Honest Gabe.
Okay,
So
when
I
I
mean-
think of anyone named Gabe, I automatically assume they have like a Lincoln beard for some reason. I don't know
Either
why.
that or they're a raging faggot.
I was just
Oh, we
thinking...
met Gabe. He
What
was
is
a
it?
raging
We
fan.
Can't those two go hand in hand though?
I was just
I
thinking
mean,
of
dude,
Gabe
Lincoln was a
from
pretty
fucking-
down to earth guy. I
What
shake
was
his hand.
the, what's the... Oh, Getting Dug with High. Gabe,
Oh.
Gabe
Oh.
time, where he does the magic tricks.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, so back to it. We go to these dorms and we're like, all right, this place is pretty chill. Like we meet all the new people, the RA, all those fucking faggots. Like they were chill people. Like I don't know. No shout outs to them. They don't deserve it.
Don't know their names either.
You get anti shout outs. In fact, you get less than.
And you know, like they always have like a bulletin board for every dorm. Where it's like
Yeah.
all the recent shit that's going on. There was one for this guy named Gabe.
Ultimate
And-
Frisbee probably is. It's like everybody meet in the quad for Ultimate
Yeah.
Frisbee at 8:40.
But it's very
Ultimate Frisbee
it's
is
very
shit,
important to know that this fucking Gabe is running for the president of some sort of social
Probably the committee.
institution.
Probably, like, yeah,
Yeah,
something
some
for
kind
the
of committee,
dorms,
like I don't know, class president of college, whatever the fuck that means.
I'm the president of History
So
101.
we come across this poster. I'm like, Gabe for president, and the first thing I think is like, yo, fuck Gabe. Who the fuck wants to be president of the fucking school? Like clearly you're sucking some dude off just to get in this fucking situation.
He seemed like it when we met him.
Yeah, so like the entire time we're on this like 2 or 3 day trip, we're just like, yo, fuck Gabe. That guy's a fucking faggot. I don't know what he's about, but fuck all of
It
it.
makes you wonder: is there like corruption in like
Are they
college?
taking bribes?
Yeah, it's like, hey man, we're trying to have a pool party next week. Here's a couple hundo.
So the entire time we're down there, we're just like, yo, we need to find Gabe. Like, I need to meet this motherfucker so I know what he's about, just in case I'm wrong about everything I've said about him. Which at this point is a lot of shit because I mean, I don't know Gabe. I don't know what he's about.
Supposed
I
to
don't,
really upset you, I can tell.
I don't even know what he fucking looks like. I'm like, yo, fuck this motherfucker and fuck the president. Because that's just, you're trying to go too high, dude. No one gives a shit about the president in college.
You remind me of like Denzel from Training Day, where he just talks shit on everybody. At the end, he just gets capped by the Russians.
Yeah, so they have
Spoilers, though.
They have this
Spoiler: if you haven't seen Training Day,
2001.
I didn't until like 2 months ago. Quality
Dude,
movie.
me too.
Fantastic
I literally watched it like a month ago,
I
and
can't
I was like,
see it, but I'm
It's a
verified.
fantastic movie.
I was like,
Get
I
away
can't
from that
believe I
shit.
waited so long to watch this movie. It's so
Super hot
fucking
in that
good.
movie.
Okay,
You're right, you fucked
before
up.
we get back to your story, I felt like such a dumbass for laughing at that Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
skit with Wayne Brady. I was like, dude, it's so late. Just like, eat your damn sandwich and make some PCP and all that. I had no idea what that was from.
Dude, when he starts smoking,
Yeah.
when he tells him to smoke it, and he thinks it's weed. I'm like, this is just like that Chappelle show thing. And
Yeah.
then I was just like, no way. Like,
That's exactly what it was.
anyway,
So yeah, back to Gabe, the piece of shit. So
Barely
we're
know.
there maybe like what, two or three, maybe
think we
4
were
days
3
max?
days.
3 days. And in that entire, I don't know how many fucking hours. I don't know, 72 hours is 3 days. Add 24.
3
Go
days
fuck
grace.
yourself. I don't care. And in that entire period, we're just like, who is this Gabe? Like, we need to find him. We need to track him down. We need to interview him. We need to know if this fool's gonna go like all the way to cabinet. Because at this point, he's clearly trying to get some shit done, which is not the case. Because he's at a fucking university now. Who gives a shit? And in those 3 days, like, I just kind of went on this binge where I would just write shit about Gabe on walls. Like,
And
I don't
Toy
know,
Story 2 is okay.
I don't even know how I got the Sharpie.
That was
Because
good.
we were just faded the whole
You probably
time.
stole it from the bulletin board.
Yep.
It's like, first of all, someone stole my Sharpie.
So the entire time I'm there, I see all these campaigns for Gabe, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, so I know that Gabe is a person, unfortunately, and I know he exists. So clearly, I just gotta fucking just trash this guy.
Fuck
'cause
Gabe.
He's never even taken the time to fucking meet me and learn what I'm about.
Been there for 2 days.
So clearly, he doesn't give a shit about the people.
He didn't come out and welcome you.
Yeah. So I'm going over like all these bulletin boards, just like, yo, fuck Gabe, don't vote with this faggot for president. We don't need this motherfucker in office.
We made the mascot look very high.
We did. No, that was their fucking doing.
Oh yeah.
All we did was address it.
This cat is high as fuck.
But like honestly, there's not much to the story other than the fact that we fucking hated Gabe. For
Did you
no
ever
apparent
meet him
reason.
though? Like,
Yeah,
Yes, we met him.
I'm
the
like,
last,
please tell me you met this guy.
the last day, right before we were leaving,
We're
we
like-
were walking down the dorm hallway and we see these dudes like putting up posters, and it's like vote for Gabe, and I'm just like, dude, are you Gabe? He's like, yeah, man, I'm Gabe. I'm like, dude, thank you so much for putting this. Like, I really appreciate it, dude. You seem like a real good guy. I'm gonna vote for you like no motherfucker ever did before. You're gonna get to office. And right before that, I went onto the bulletin across the hallway and just put Gabe as a huge faggot. So little does this guy know, I'm not quite the
You
fan that he
double-crossing
makes
him.
me out to be.
You're a double agent.
Yes. But honestly, like, the bulletin board was more great in the things that we didn't write about Gabe than actually writing about Gabe.
And then we wrote in the showers. Or you wrote.
Oh yeah, in the shower. But like, before we get to that, like, the only notable thing we wrote on that bulletin board is they had their mascot is a wildcat, and on the bulletin board they put like this like bright pink like background. And it's a see-through eyes for the wildcat, so it's the wildcat face with super pink eyes. And I'm like, all right, this cat is fucking faded as shit. He's never gonna see the light of day. He's just gonna fucking pass out and die. Hell yeah, that's what I was doing.
That's pretty much what I was.
So I get a Sharpie, and the only thing I put is this cat is high as fuck. And that's the most notable thing I did, other than
in the shower.
one day when we were smoking with Lloyd. I got a Sharpie. Don't know how the fuck. I don't know how I
It's
got
the
this
same
Sharpie.
Sharpie. It's the
Same
great
Sharpie. We had this
magical
Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Don't know how we got a hold of it, but yo, shout out
Do
to
you
that.
still have the Sharpie?
Shout out to that Sharpie.
Did you keep the Sharpie?
Because he
Put it on
fucking
your
put in
mantle?
work that week. And this is easily the most notable thing I did because it actually came back to like the committee
They sent
of like
an email to
wrongdoings for that dorm was like, hey, who the fuck did this? And we need to find him.
They sent an email to
And
everybody and tried
All
to
I
find
did was
us.
I remember I was on 4chan one day, and one of the most great things I saw on B was someone went to a bathroom stall and Sharpie Toy Story 2 was only okay.
That was Dimitri Martin, right?
Okay.
That-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That hit me so deep because I didn't know about it. And I was like, you know what? He's fucking right, dude. Toy Story 2 was like decent at best. Like, Jesus Christ, it didn't live up to the hype. So I'm already drunk and faded at this point because I was the entirety of that entire trip. So my
About
like
right.
the first thing comes to my mind is like, I need to let the world know that Toy Story 2 was just okay. So my first thought is like, what's the best place I can put a Sharpie that they'll never be able to take out, so anyone who comes across this will immediately know Toy Story 2 wasn't that fucking great.
in the dorm showers.
So I just see a shower, and I'm like, yo, there's tile on that. It's hard as fuck to get stuff off a tile, especially a Sharpie.
You're in that grout, dude.
Yeah.
When in doubt, grout it out.
Yep. So without even like thinking about it, I just fucking sketch out Toy Story 2 was just okay, and just fucking leave, not thinking anything of it. Cause I'm like, I mean, what are they gonna? No one's gonna say anything. Like, it's funny,
Unless they
right?
disagree, they're like,
Yeah.
And
no,
like
it's
a
pretty
week
good.
later-
I liked it.
The host was likable. So we leave.
Week later.
And was it a week later?
Yeah.
I thought it was later than that. A week later, our friend Shane, shout out to Shane again, who stayed in the dorm that we all stayed at. He goes to U of A. Send a copy of an email to Mario, which was basically like a notice from whoever the head of that. It was either the head of the dorm, like the dean or the RA or whoever the fuck, I don't know, some higher authority, some faggot who just sucked dick to get to where they are. Sent out a message to everyone saying like, hey, we noticed that someone has been using a Sharpie to write on our shower stills. And that's not okay. So if you know who this is, please report them immediately. We need to get to the bottom of this. Like, you can't be doing shit. Like, you can't just take a Sharpie and put it on the shower. That's just forever. You can't take that shit out. And I was just fascinated by the idea that
The best part is, what are they gonna do? Like, you can't come back to our college.
And I was like, yo, I'm a wanted man in the state of Arizona, and I'll never go back, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the entirety of that story.
Dude, one time I went to visit. Shout out to Drew, who doesn't listen.
Drew, shout out to Drew for just hating podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
fuck that faggot.
My boy Drew.
Let's just hold on.
I mean, I love the guy.
No. I was saying, let's just make sure that we separate. We don't call people faggots because they suck dick. We call them faggots because they're assholes.
Well, the little thing you should know
It's a
about Best
different
Bros podcast is we really, really emphasize on the idea of context. So if you hear us call someone a faggot, don't just immediately think we're hitting on homosexuals. Shout out to homosexuals.
Shout out to Louis C.K. for being another person that agrees.
Yo, homosexuals, y'all can get married legally now. That's what's up.
Yeah, we went to a gay
Nike
beach
fuck
the other day because there's no one there and it's pretty nice and like
Except for that one dude.
Banana
we saw
ham.
one guy with a banana hammock and for a 6-year-old man, like, well done, I guess.
Very bronze.
Did you do that
I
Facebook
looked
shit?
at his
where,
cheeks too.
That Facebook
I
shit
was
where, you
impressed.
take your picture and then you make it all rainbow, so it'll let you know.
Oh
you're
no.
out of the
Although
situation.
I do like that because it's making everybody who's not into gay marriage really mad.
It really, dude, you know what's crazy
Oh my
about
God.
the
It's so funny to me.
that whole like the hashtag love wins things. It's like I was talking to Drew about this. It's like it's kind of I mean, even though you'd like to think that everyone's cool with that, right? But like you see like a company like Comedy Central is one, for instance, that posts a lot of pro like that hashtag and just they're for the whole gay marriage thing. And then you read the comments and people are just like not happy about it, and it's like it reminds you because we live in California. For anyone who might listen and doesn't know that, and it's like.
Accepted.
Yeah, for the most part, people here are pretty cool with it. Even like I would say more conservative people are like whatever,
Yeah.
But like you forget that not everybody is New York and California.
You
know what I'm
forget that
saying?
one state away is Arizona, and it's heavily a red state, and
Yeah.
they hate gay marriage. They hate Mexicans.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, no.
just
So you see all these.
Dad's dream place.
when
right
I think
there.
of bigotry, I think no other than Arizona, just because I have family there, and like when the shit that comes out of their mouth is just like, do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, like it reminds me of that Modest Mouse quote. It's like, do you believe what you're saying right now? It's like, yeah, but not that often. Like,
It's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
well, it's like you see people go like, "Well, I'm never gonna watch Comedy Central again because you posted a thing on Facebook."
So,
It's like,
'cause
first
you
of
were-
all, not true because you know when the South Park Marathon is on Sunday afternoon, you're like, all right.
Which makes you wonder, like those episodes of South Park where he's like, "I'm gay," and that means I can say fag. Like
Yeah.
it's like there's people out there that are laughing because they hate gay people.
That's
not
what I'm saying.
because
They're
that's
laughing for the
making-
wrong reason. You're like, whoa.
Like I'll never forget. I was like super hyped on Django Unchained coming out when we worked at Amazon,
Uh-huh.
and I worked next to these really cool black dudes, and that's important. I'm not just like, oh, they were black, like they're bad, but like
Black?
I would always talk to them about like hip hop and shit. Like, man, you was white. How is you like knowing like Biggie and all? I'm like, who doesn't know? Dad knows Biggie and he doesn't listen to hip hop. And he knows Tupac and shit,
What
but
about her Juicy?
they're like talking about movies, like, hey, you seen 21 Grams? Or like just like a random movie, and I was like, oh, hey, are you guys excited for like Django Unchained? He goes, literally straight goes, my nigga, you ain't gonna see Django Unchained. And I was like, wait, why not? And he's like, I will stand at the fucking front of the theater and make sure your ass does not see Django Unchained. And I was like, why? He's like, hey, I seen the trailer. There's whips and chains and that shit. He's like, I forbid any white person to see that movie and enjoy it. And I was like, he's like, you're gonna go see that movie and enjoy it for all the wrong reasons, man.
Dude, I was
like, no, I'm with you. I hate white people too.
I was literally right next to you when this conversation happened because then I said, if you think about it, Django Unchained is like a horror movie for like southern white people. But they're like, oh god, he's coming back. Like, dude, okay. I don't know if it's like racially acceptable to make this movie, but someone who's black or something should find a way to make a movie that's
You're like, I'm gonna delegate this to you.
because I'm not comfortable doing it. I'm not Quentin Tarantino. I can't just be like, no,
Okay.
well, let me finish what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying
Someone needs to
Tarantino
make
can do it because of Samuel L. Jackson.
Somebody needs to make a zombie movie that's like set in the South, where like all of the slaves that were like killed on a plantation come back and like get the what do you call it, the descendants of the plantation owners or whatever. Like that movie's, how has nobody made that? That's so fucking brilliant.
Well, if you think about, there's already another version of that movie where it's like it's the old 80s or 70s movie where it's like the carnival people. Where like
1,000 Maniacs.
No, not that one. That one sort of, but the one where it's like literally like an abusive circus show owner is like fucking with all the freak show people.
Freaks.
Yeah. That movie is kind of like that, but in a different way.
Well, there's an Italian zombie movie. I think it's a Fulci movie. I can't remember what the title is though. That's pretty fucking cool with it. That was set on on an old plantation like that. But it's like not. They didn't. I mean, it was an Italian movie, so they didn't really stress like the cultural aspects of like slavery and stuff. But anyway, back to when I visited Drew. Here's my less interesting college story. Like, Drew went to San Diego. University of California, San Diego, UCSD. And we went to visit one time, and we'd been there before, but he was part of a fraternity, and we had never like hung out with the frat people. And he's like, "Hey, there's a big frat party happening tonight. Do you guys want to go?" And I'm like, "Obviously!" Like, as a dude who's just seen like every movie about colleges, is like, I didn't go to college, but I'll go to a college party. Yeah. And we get there, and immediately I knew something was up because there's just fucking Harry Potter shit all over the walls everywhere. And I like Harry Potter, but it's just like, I thought this was a frat party. Like, dudes crushing beer cans on their foreheads and stuff. Like, they're just sipping butterbeer. Like, but
that pull.
There was this fat chick I was trying to get with, and
this is already a sad
she
story.
just fucking wrecked me in this
In
drinking game. I wish. Maybe she did, dude. I blacked out like fucking crazy though, because we were playing this weird drinking game called Stamos, and
John Stamos.
Yeah, and I got Stamos, and I just, the next thing I remember, I was in their bathroom, which didn't have a door; it just had like a curtain, and my feet were like hanging out into the hallway, and people kept tripping on me, and like eventually, and apparently they were like, "Hey, you gotta get your friend out of here," and I was like, "What? Because I got drunk? Like, it's a fucking frat party." And then like the last thing I remember is like before we left, it was. Fucking We Are Young by Fun had just come out, and it was like at a point where nobody knew that song, and I was like, "You guys gotta fucking hear this song." And I'm all trying to find it, and I couldn't find it because it like wasn't big yet. There was no music video for it or anything. And I was like, "No, it's good." And I finally found it, and I put it on, and it starts off, and that song starts off kind of lame. I mean, the whole song's kind of lame now because it's so played out, but like it starts off real like slow and whatever, and people are just like, "What happened to my fucking drink?" or whatever. And then that was the moment where they're like dragging me out of the house. I'm like, "Wait, no, the chorus! You gotta hear the chorus!" And then we went to this fucking burrito place we always go out to there called Santana's for breakfast burritos. And I was so drunk, I was like laying in the back of Drew's truck, and they were like, "Just wait here, we'll get you a breakfast burrito." I was like, "Get me two." And then they left, and then like I woke up like 10 minutes later, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what if they don't get me two?" So I got out of the truck and started walking the wrong way at like 3 a.m. in San Diego, and then I ran into them on the street. They're like, "Robert," and I was just like, "Did you give me 2 burritos?" And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "My burritos."
I was hoping you'd be like, "Tonight."
I probably was.
You're like,
"Do you want 2 burritos?"
Said, the hot sauce set your ass on
"Give
fire.
me extra hot sauce." Anyway, and then like we go home and sleep for like 2 hours, and then we go to the San Diego Zoo at like 6 in the morning, and I was just, it was not a problem. I was A-okay. I was like, whatever. We rolled with it, dude. I couldn't believe that I wasn't fucking destroyed after all that. Like,
It just shows that you were a champ.
and then the zoo was pretty fun. Like, I'm not a guy who likes zoos, but I enjoyed myself. Anyway, the point of the story is that like I went to a frat party thinking like this is it, and in reality it was just like, no, we like to sit down quietly and share stories of times past.
Oh no! So it was a
Kyle over
kickback.
there is gonna play, show us his poem.
I wouldn't even call it a kickback. Like it was just
like a get together.
it was like a small social gathering
Greek
among
social
friends.
gathering.
Like, because like,
Was it a study group? Did you go to a study group?
you got it, dude. You nailed
Harry
it.
Potter study
Fucking- I just remember, and they still talk about it to this day. Like, here's the fucked up thing. I remember like a week later, I'm at work, and I get this text message from a number I don't recognize, and it's a picture of me and some dude I've never met, and we're both just like fucking throwing up the West Side sign. And like the look on my face is like I am so fucking smashed. Like I can't, my eyes aren't even open. I'm just like, and I was just like, I don't even remember this picture. Like, fucking hell. Like I have never been that drunk since. I was just like, I don't remember anything I did last night. Like everything is just like. People told me like you fell asleep in the bathroom and your legs were just hanging out in the hallway and shit. Like
yes.
I was like, all right.
Leave it to people who throw a party with tons of alcohol to get upset at someone drinking tons
That's
of
the
alcohol.
thing. They didn't
every
have
party. Yeah, that's
tons
every
of
party,
alcohol. I brought my own bottle of Jack Daniels and drank it, and then like a girl. At one point, I set it down and she started pouring herself a Jack and Coke. I was like, "Hey, is that my Jack Daniels?" And she was just like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "Give that to me," and I drank her drink. Like,
So you were living the fucking, what's that movie? It's Paul Thomas Anderson. He's like, "I drink your milkshake."
I guess so. I
there
took her
was what?
fucking Jack and Coke. It was part mine, so
You're like, "There will be Jack and Coke."
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Same story though.
Pretty hilarious.
So the moment we saw Harry Potter, that's when it hit.
That's when you
Well, I
knew
was
you
just
had
like,
to
I
go
thought
in.
this was a frat party. Like,
Because like I don't think I've never been to a party that just had Harry Potter shit.
Just
hanging
I mean,
pull
out.
out
I'm
their
not
coats and
down
scarves
with Harry
and,
Potter.
They
but
say,
it's
look, Harry
just
Potter's cool. Like I've never been to a party that just had like random like pop culture shit hanging in general.
Quidditch party.
Yeah.
They get their brooms out.
The dude, Bryce is gonna be here in a minute. He's bringing the golden snitch.
He has it like in the box and everything. He's like, don't let it get away, guys.
He's like, hey, once I let this shit out, it's gonna get turned out. It's like,
Dude, have you seen that? Do you go on the fucking Black Twitter on Reddit, dude? It's the best. There's this thing where it's like,
dude, I literally retweeted a Black People Vine today, and this a girl I know who's like super white, like myself. If you've never seen me, very white, was like, you follow this Twitter too? And I was just like, I felt like an idiot for following. I was like, hell no, this is the best shit I've ever seen.
yeah, it's like in case you can't tell by our fucking California surfer accents, we are white as shit up in here.
I gotta give it a
Most
shot.
of us.
Here, I'm gonna show you guys the best.
Anyway, the one I saw though was like somebody tweeted something and to like the school they were at, and then like the school like retweeted what they posted. So then the guy was like, "Hey, cancel school on Monday. I need to turn up." And then they put back, "The only thing you need to turn up is your grades." And I was just like, "Oh shit!"
But I found this Vine that made me laugh my ass off. It's literally a dude. There's a girl like doing some sort of a twerk motion, and the guy's sprinkling French fries on her. It's like she's in a club and he's spraying money on her, but it's fucking French fries, and they're outside of McDonald's, standing in the drive-thru. So
It's like 4 different angles too.
yeah, like,
If you really want to piss off any dad, just show them that video.
they can't point their finger at what's making them mad.
It's like I don't know if it's the McDonald's. Like
I don't know if there's people in the drive-thru or if I'm racist. She's not wearing very
a waste of
modest
fries,
clothing.
man.
Oh, dude, that's a tremendous waste of fries.
true. We hungry, dude. We're trying to get some fries, and they're just throwing them away.
We
like
really
that.
out here, you know.
Hey, should we take this time to talk about Anime Expo, or should we wait for?
Oh no, we can wait for Mario and J-Che because like they were really wanting to get down on this podcast. So like we might have a double feature coming up. You know.
I would say like
Cut it
just
in two, there's-
Oh no! I mean, we can keep going for a while. We're barely at 60 minutes, but 60 minutes, the most boring show you'll ever watch.
I see it on PBS, dude. It's up there.
It's like 60 minutes is like the visual version of like NPR when they're not talking about music.
Dude, Nova's
Have
dope.
you ever listened to NPR? Like,
Yeah, This American Life's like one of my favorite podcasts.
like they have some like really good shit, but they also like to keep our like indie cred, like we have to have some really boring shit. So
Yeah.
it's like their social justice stuff.
Anything with politics, I tend to skip because I'm just like, I don't care. It's not that I disagree with whatever there's. I just don't
You
care.
just don't care. Like,
So
The only
boring.
politics I care about are like the fucking rebels in the Imperial Army. Like I don't. You know what I'm saying?
the only politics you care about are politics that aren't real.
Exactly. Like I'll get involved in fucking Game of Thrones and be like, he doesn't have a right to that throne.
Like Stannis is the real king.
Like actual real politics, I'm just like, ooh, could you make it more
this affects
interesting?
my life. I don't
Where
want
are the
to deal with that
explosions? Where are the explosions?
Yeah.
Like, I 100% agree. I'm really worried about the rebels right now. You know, like
Yeah.
what happened? Is
I-
the Empire coming
shit.
back?
I mean, they make it out.
Are
It's
the
like-
Sith-
Dude, they just announced that fucking Darth Vader is going to be in Rogue One
Ooh.
for sure. So I mean, I'm into that.
I'm like, everyone's like, but there's gonna be no Jedi. I'm like, but it's like the in
Jedi aren't even the most interesting thing
I
about
know,
Star Wars.
right?
It's like
when I rewatched Star Wars, like the past 3 movies, and like I am in no way hating on a Jedi because like
They're bad.
you know what, I've considered converting honestly. No,
dude, I actually was thinking about
strong,
doing that, putting my religion down as Jedi, because why not? Fucking
well, you
Just
get
say
some
up
good
the
tax
force.
breaks, dude.
true.
They have
That's fucking
Pokemon
smart.
religion too.
A Pokemon? Like what?
Pokemon
Shintoism?
No, it's not religion; it's a lifestyle. No, like the Rogue One, people are like, no, there's gonna be no Jedi. I'm like, dude, Han Solo is easily the most interesting part of those
Obviously.
movies.
What about
Oh,
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca
He's
is
like
his
Harry
homie, dude. Chewbacca.
He's like the supporting actor.
Where's like
Han Solo.
the Chewbacca prequel movie where it's like a young Chewie,
Yo, it was
just
a
a young
Christmas-
buck out there trying to make shit
It
happen.
was the fucking Christmas episode.
Yeah, that's true.
The trailer would go, it's like coming this summer, and you just hear like the Chewbacca noise, like. It's like something you've never seen.
What's the story on that? What's the new battle?
Battlefront? Oh, hold on. The Rogue One thing, though, it's like
Oh,
it's,
go for it.
it's what happens after Episode 3 and between Episode 4. So like you get to see
So, like, the Clone
Darth
Wars?
Vader do some. I wonder. Okay, so there's a video game I think you may play called The Force Unleashed. I think,
Yeah,
and you
it
play a
wasn't that
character
great.
called Starkiller, and he's like one of the most badass like
Is that
Jedi.
because like originally it was instead of Luke Skywalker, it was Luke Starkiller?
Yeah. His name's Starkiller, and like he double wields. He's pretty cool. And that was like I honestly was super bummed when 3030 got canceled, like because Disney
man.
got the
That
rights
game
to
was
LucasArts and all that.
I never looked into it, but I was excited by the idea of what
It was like a
supposed to be.
Mass Effect style Star Wars game, and like Mass Effect, for all the things that it doesn't get right, it really capitalizes on the stuff that it does get right. Like the
Never
story's
played
great, but so yeah, the Rogue One movie, like I'm interested to see who they pick to play Anakin because it's the in between right when he gets the Darth Vader outfit and all that, and like
May
he
I
does.
suggest Chris Pratt?
She got it, dude.
We just spent a whole podcast talking about movie roles that Chris Pratt should be in.
I'm telling you,
You brought up a
There's a
good
lot
one
of
the other
stuff.
day. What was?
we'll get to that in a second, but like I don't know, like I saw the trailer and I'm just
Exactly. Big Trouble in Little China should be
Damn
Chris
it,
Pratt.
Nick. I was saving that for another second.
I would see that movie in a fucking heartbeat, dude.
I'm just excited because Rogue One's gonna be more about.
That's I mean, The Rock's alright, but like, it's.
Chris Pratt would.
But dude,
play
all
the
right,
role
just think about this.
If it was Chris Pratt and The Rock teamed up, like, just doing anything,
Yeah, okay,
that
like-
would be a hell of a
okay,
movie.
adding
Chris
Chris
Rock being
Pratt,
the Chinese guy.
adding Chris Pratt would definitely like up the ante.
Chris
but, like,
Rock?
dude. What I just
He
think,
said it, and I was like, you know what, he fucked up, but I will go with that.
That would be great.
like when I think
I
of
would love to
Dwayne
see
Johnson,
Chris Rock.
as of recently, I just think of Pain and Gain, and he fucking killed it in that movie.
That is an underrated
as like
movie.
a super Christian, goofy motherfucker. Like,
You know what?
When I think of Dwayne Johnson as like someone from Pain and Gain, and I think of like interpreting him into Big Trouble in Little China, I think he could easily fucking kill it because he played that persona fucking perfectly.
You know what
He's
movie
just
he
fast.
killed it in that not a lot of people have seen that me and Rob were forced to
The
go
Rundown.
see?
Rundown.
The Rundown,
fucking
dude.
sweet movie, dude. The Rundown.
Shout outs to The Rundown for being one of the most underrated adventure
I love
movies.
that when you go see a movie and you're like, what is this? And then you start watching, you're like, what the fuck?
See, this
Remember
was,
Air Force One was like that. We were like 7 years old or
I
something.
was
I
like,
remember
Air Force One. I don't want
Dad's
to
like, we're
care.
gonna go see Indiana Jones and he's the president. And I'm just like, what? And then like the movie, like immediately, I remember just being like, this movie fucking rules. And then I remember going to school like the Monday after, and like this kid's like, have you ever heard of this movie called fucking Air Force One? I was like, yeah, dude, that movie ruled. Like,
Do we just become
Like, yeah, that movie shit. What's
He's
wrong with
like,
you?
get off my plane. Like,
he's like, no ticket.
but Big Trouble in China, like The Rock in The Rundown's really good, and that show Ballers is pretty good. Like, it's
I haven't
not,
seen that yet.
it's
Ballers
not
is
highly
fantastic.
rated, but like it's getting like a 7 out of 10 on all the reviews. But
Killer
I'm like,
soundtrack. On
still
that
worth
show.
watching.
I haven't finished it, but I'm like halfway through episode 3 of True Detective season 2. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The opening, I was just like, what?
Dude, okay, so the opening was because it's a different director too.
It's like
so
full on Twin Peaks, that opening.
I just
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
give if anyone hasn't seen True Detective, I know you two haven't yet. The first season, phenomenal. Like
What's it about?
It's like, it's so
it's so
fucking
sad
good.
because when
Let
you
me
think
tell you.
HBO, everyone's like Game of Thrones, and you're like, okay,
Isn't
HBO
it
may have made
Silicon
Game of
too?
Thrones, but True Detective is one of the most
Silicon's
underrated
pretty good,
television series I've ever seen.
But dude, as far as True Detective goes, I feel like Leftovers is an easy second to be.
I've
the
never
next
heard of it.
episode.
What's Leftovers?
Exactly. No one's fucking heard of Leftovers. It's a fucking.
Oh, is that like a
amazing
sci-fi
show.
thing where it's like the Armageddon? They take
It's,
people?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So like the whole synopsis is like basically like the rapture happens, and then like rather than like going with like that full point like the rapture happened, everyone's in heaven. Everyone just fucking randomly comes back, and everyone that came back refuses to speak because the whole spiel about the show was like all the people that were in the rapture refused to talk about it because they believed that the reason that there was a rapture was because mankind had some like kind of wrongdoing in the world. So their whole idea is like we need to get people to join our organization, which is basically a giant cult that is like accepting that the fact that the rapture even happened was because it was like a colossal fuck up by mankind. Whereas every other person is like, yo, why the fuck did they leave? We're trying to figure it out, and they feel that they know the reason why. So they're just it's like borderline religion. Where they're just like, yo,
You
we
fucking
know the
told me
reason
on
why.
already.
fuckface.
I'm already on board. Like,
Dude,
that
that
sounds
show
rad.
is fucking phenomenal. You need to check it out.
But one comment before we move on: at the end of episode 3, just anyone you don't even need to watch True Detective season 1. Watch the second season; it has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
they're
the
not
first one.
connected at all.
Vince Vaughn is killing it on his acting
He is.
chops. Like Jesus Christ, the last
I'd
fucking
love to see the reconnaissance. Is what they called it, where McConaughey got popular again
oh yeah, with Vince Vaughn.
with Vince Vaughn.
At the
The
end of
Vince
this episode-
Vaughnaissance.
the opening.
You heard it here first, son.
It's just Robert just coming up with all these money making ideas. The beginning episode
That's all I
2
do,
with the
baby.
stain in the ceiling, like he killed it on that scene, and then there's a scene where he actually fights a dude, and you're like, oh, Vince Vaughn's gonna fight, and then like you just watch it, like he's killing it.
Vince Vaughn would be good in like a what's that Scorsese movie, Raging Bull, like that type of role where he plays like a washed up dude.
He's
trying
pretty
to come
much
back.
is
Dude,
that
Southpaw's
character.
coming out in like
Yeah,
2
he
weeks.
really is.
Southpaw, great Training Day director.
Don't let me down. Anton Fuqua.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's
He was
David.
supposed to do.
It's David Ayer, right?
David Ayer wrote
Training Day.
Training Day.
But Anton Farquaad directed it.
Farquaad. It's not Shrek, dude.
I didn't say Farquaad.
You did though.
I said Farquaad.
It's Farquaad.
Shut up.
But also,
I'm gonna edit it out. So
edit that shit out.
I'm gonna edit out like that one fucking point.
Make it
into
so
the
I
second.
said it.
Your Rob's like Anton Farquaad. It's not Farquaad, you idiot. Oh God.
Fucking, he was supposed to make a Tupac movie that I think never came to fruition. Also, supposedly
Oh,
there's a
John Lithgow was gonna make a Tupac movie
no Anton Fuqua. Where'd you get John Lithgow?
because he voiced Farquaad.
Oh, yeah, John Lithgow is Tupac. Supposedly the NWA movie has like a scene where Tupac's in it.
Oh, dude,
Has
did
that
you
come
see
out
the
yet?
picture of the guy that got to play Tupac?
Is it
Is it Tupac?
Is it the guy from?
It might be Tupac.
Is it the Captain America 2 guy that played the Falcon?
No, but he's playing.
He played him in Notorious, the Biggie movie.
No, the guy that got
Which
to
is a
play
good movie too.
the guy that got to play Tupac is someone that submitted his picture to the studio and was like, "I look like Tupac because people keep telling me I look like Tupac." And like he's like, I get stopped at like a liquor store, like, "You still alive?"
It's like the hologram, son.
He's like, "Oh, is this real?" He's like, "This liquor store is kicking." So yeah, like, and he like has like, cause Tupac has like thick ass eyebrows and like that really like.
It's a really
happy-
distinctive look for sure.
Yeah, and he looks a lot like him. So I think if this NWA movie does really good, we're definitely gonna see a Tupac movie.
I'm so pumped for that movie. I wanted to see Dope so bad, like, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to go see it with me, and then it was in theater for like a week.
The thing is, I didn't know what it was until it was out of theaters already, which is like,
Well, it got a lot of
market
hype
yourself
because
better.
It premiered it. I want to say Sundance or Tribeca, maybe. I don't know, but it premiered at one of the big film festivals, and it got like a lot of buzz.
You want to take the lead? One thing I want to start doing at the end of our podcast, and we'll do it now because we're at hour and 5.
I'm having so much fun.
Oh, we're gonna keep going.
Let's just cut this and do another one right after. Why not?
Yeah, okay.
But don't edit out that I just said
face.
that.
No. Fuck it. I think that
The viewers don't know, they're stupid as hell.
I think people really legitimately enjoy like the background shit. Like, no, I want to know what's really going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Like on Twitch streams, if you do ad block, you see what they're doing in between the ads, and I'm like, I'm not gaining anything from this, but I'm happy I'm not seeing an ad. So,
Like that's one of the selling points of Leftovers. Is like there's so much curiosity in that show that's like the selling point of the entire plot. 'Cause just like, I don't care what happens to them. I just want to know why the fuck the rapture happened
it's
to begin
outside.
with.
Like when I was watching Lost, and I was just like, I don't
leaning
care
out.
what
I'm so
happens. I
lost.
just want to know how this is
I
going
want
to
to know what
end.
that goddamn black cloud is.
Yeah. Well, you
It
still
turns out
don't.
it's nothing.
I mean, we'll do
Wow,
this.
it's fucking nothing.
And everything in that show is nothing.
We'll do this now. I wanted to do every episode we recommend a movie. Doesn't matter if it's horror, comedy, or underrated, or a new movie that we saw in theaters.
Fucking
Just something that you want to put out there that you may.
The Land Before Time.
Is
Yeah.
it just one person
I
per?
agree.
No, everyone's gonna do one.
Because
So
we'll run out pretty quick if everyone does one every time.
no, because there's tons of movies. I mean,
No, there's
There's
only like
a
10.
fucking-
There's only like 10 movies.
There's a dickload of
there's
movies.
only
dude.
ever been like 10 movies.
I really want to start. I don't know. If
There's
this
more
is
movies out there than there are coming to my balls right
I
now.
don't know. Well, I don't know if this is the.
Depends on how busy you've been.
One time I said something about we were trying to get a hotel for Comic Con, and I said to Sean, I was like, "It's pretty late. The chances of getting a hotel right now are lower than my balls." Like,
It's
anyway,
like, so they're pretty good.
I want to do a podcast. Like, I don't know if this is the place to talk about it, but I want to do one eventually if this takes off, where it's just called "Watch All Movies," and it's like the goal is to watch every movie ever made.
That's
And
gonna be
essentially
a feat, dude.
each episode, we bring in another person and they tell us about their favorite movie. And I've seen most
Oh,
movies,
okay.
so I feel like we could just talk about.
Like if it's favorite movies, that's something else. If we're trying to dumb down every movie,
Well, how about
ever
we
No,
do
made,
that's like
fuck.
a joke. I just mean like that's just like a gimmick. I just mean
Okay.
in as much as like every episode would be about a different movie, and so you bring in like, you know, we could do one's like Nathan's favorite movie we'll talk about, one's Willie's favorite movie we'll talk about. You know what I'm saying?
I already know what that one's gonna be called. Big Trouble in
I
Best
figured
Bros.
that'd be the best one we could start with.
Big Trouble in Best Bros. It's already
Hands
titled.
down, my favorite movie of all time is James Cameron's Avatar. I haven't seen it, but visually,
So we'll just skip Nathan's episode.
visually,
I will-
visually, this movie is top tier. If you want the story, just watch Pocahontas. You're not
Robert
gonna
will
get
send
it.
me the file and I will send it to
I
the
will
recycle bin.
Send it to the trash can.
And I will hit
The
empty
only thing
recycle
about
bin.
that movie was Michelle Rodriguez. That was the only movie.
That's
she's
a
ever
dude. Yeah,
been
you
hot
told me
in.
that. That's the only movie where Rochelle Rodriguez doesn't look like a raging dyke, and it's insane.
Again,
I don't know. I mean,
No togs. My bad.
I'm into Michelle.
I don't see it.
I'm gonna talk to you about that one.
Yeah.
I'm
Sandpaper. It's all good.
just gonna keep these
But anyway, so we'll all do one this time, if you can think of one, and then from now on we'll just pick a different person.
All right,
Hey,
you
Let's
go.
okay. So my first movie recommendation, and then I think most of us have seen it. Maybe not Nick and John, but it's called The Drop, and it came out in 2014.
Dude, it's on HBO now.
It's a good one.
It's on HBO if you have HBO. If I were ever to recommend, like, here, give $10 to Amazon Prime, or not Amazon Prime, Amazon or iTunes Video and all that. The Drop with Tom Hardy is a really, really good.
How is Tom Hardy not like? I mean, I feel like he's not an A-list actor yet. Like,
I think it's because
what's it gonna take, Willie?
Because here's the thing.
Dude,
you
rock
have-
and roll should have been the selling point.
I feel like maybe Mad Max might be
Mad
like.
Max might be it.
Once that shit hits DVD, I feel like maybe more people will see it. Although
Almost
a lot of
better.
people saw it, it did well, and yeah.
They're
I
already
saw
in pre-production on the second one.
Thank
Which
God,
apparently the
because
sequel
I need
for that
more.
movie was written immediately after the first one. So, or not the first Mad Max, but I mean like the first Fury Road.
Is it still George Miller?
I mean, he's not gonna let anyone touch his
Yeah,
shit.
really, at this point too, I feel like he could probably argue with the studios and be like, "Look,
At this
come
point,
on."
he's looked at as a studio figure, like kind of like Nolan, or maybe not Nolan because he made a lot of money, but I mean, like he's like a Scorsese. Like we trust you with your
Well,
own
yeah, and
idea.
as far as that goes, I'd love to see what he does next that's not Mad Max related. You know, because he was at one point was supposed to do a Justice League movie with Armie Hammer as Batman, which I still think would have been fucking cool. Still think fucking what's his name, John Hamm would have made a great Batman, dude.
Oh yeah, he's got the chin. He's got the. I mean, Ben Affleck. Did you see?
Kevin Smith said on a podcast recently that he honestly believes that, like, with no hyperbole, that Ben Affleck will be the best Batman. And I'm kind of up there because it's like, I like Christian Bale, and I love Michael Keaton, but I don't think anyone's completely nailed the dichotomy
But
between
how do you
Bruce
feel
Wayne.
about George Clooney?
Well, George Clooney, there was
All I have
that.
to say to you is bat nipples.
There was a minute there where people were like, there was an article that went around in heavy rotation where some guy was like, let what's his name, Clooney get another shot at it, because like now he is more well respected. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a better actor, I think now, and he probably could turn into good. I mean, he could for sure. It's not even a question. Turn into good performance as Batman. I'd like to see that. I think.
I wonder what his adaptation of Batman would be. Like, would he just recreate what he did previously?
Oh no, so you got to remember when you look at actors like Ryan Reynolds, we look at him as the target for movies like Green Lantern because he's the actor. It's not his fault. He didn't write the script. He didn't do post production. He didn't edit it. He didn't. All he did was act.
But then again, like there are those like big name actors.
He's
out
playing
there.
Deadpool, and Deadpool looks fantastic.
Like there's still those big name actors out there who like they will take what the director wants for them to be their actor, but they'll still make it their own.
Yeah.
So I kind of wondered. If
But
Clooney would
here's
do
the thing:
something
you got to
along
ask
those
yourself, as an actor, am I going to take? Oh, like back then, Batman wasn't as big as it is now, so you can't have people like Christian Bale like, oh, this is my interpretation of it. You go, George Clooney's like, I kind of need to do this because it's one of the first Batman movies. That was like the third iteration
It was,
of it.
I mean, well, first you had the 66 Batman. If you really want to go back, there was a serial.
I'm talking about
the
like
20s.
feature films.
But, the 66 Batman did have a feature film, and so that's technically the first Batman movie. Then you had the two Michael Keatons, and then one
And
after
Val
that
Kilmer.
was Val Kilmer, which I like Val Kilmer as Batman.
Val Kilmer.
So no, I feel like Batman Forever is an underrated movie. It's not perfect by any shot, but like there's some cool stuff in that movie.
Well, there's movies I enjoy that are fucking nowhere near perfect.
Yeah.
Looper is a great example. When you rewatch that movie, Looper is not a fantastic movie, but it is a fun watch.
It grows on you though.
Dude, I feel the same way with Inception.
Yeah.
Like once you
Inception-
I
get
disagree. I think Inception's like a miracle. Like I fucking love.
Like
that
my
movie.
other thing is like if you
You know
have,
what it is
if you
when
have someone who can actually break down like the science behind it, you realize it doesn't make any fucking sense. But as long as you throw that entire idea out the fucking window, Inception just falls.
You just
I
gotta
read-
learn how to separate yourself from the people that go, "Oh, I don't like this movie because of how hyped it got." Like,
I
when,
read an
when a
article
movie's
one
good,
time-
I'll sit there and be like, "You know what? That movie's good." Like Mad Max, no matter how many people, like Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example. No matter how many people like, "I love Guardians of the Galaxy," that like don't really like movies. It's a fucking fantastic movie.
It really is.
Good.
Like you can't
Best
argue
Marvel
against
movie.
that.
It's an example for sure. Like not even close. It is the best Marvel movie by far.
What's
and I
terrible?
I feel like
And I think Daredevil is a close second in Marvel production, not Marvel.
yeah,
like,
you're
Oh,
right.
even the show?
Actually,
The show is great.
Fucking
Daredevil,
amazing.
the
Yeah.
show Daredevil might be better than Guardians of the Galaxy. They're close.
Daredevil the movie.
You know what?
though, from
You know
back
what
in the
really
day.
got a lot of people that got into Daredevil like, oh, it was like really slow going for the first two episodes. You know
Dude,
what
the
sold
first
me?
movie was
The
great.
fact that within the
first-
first two episodes there was just so much gore already. I
That
was like,
fucking crazy fight scene at the end. It was the end of episode
Dude.
2. Was so like you're just like, all right, dude, you got me. Like,
It's honestly,
and when he said
Oh,
it,
wait, was that the hallway scene?
yeah.
the director went on record. He was like, yeah, after when I was kind of like storyboarding that scene, he's like, I just watched the Raid 2 and I just seen Oldboy. Like he rewatched
Okay.
Oldboy. No, I hadn't just seen Oldboy.
It definitely, Old Boy was,
You see
was
the
on
reference there
my
for
mind
sure.
when I saw that. Supposedly, season 2 is going to be like 100% Daredevil versus Punisher, which, like, oh my god,
Oh,
dude, I
that's
can't
sick.
even
Yo,
fucking.
who's playing the Punisher?
It's
the guy from The Walking
Shane
Dead in
from Walking Dead.
Shane?
It's
Oh,
Shane,
Shane?
from The Walking
Yeah.
Dead, and he's also in
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the
He
guy from
plays-
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I'm into that. I'm down. Like,
At
you
first,
got
I
me.
was kind of disappointed. I was like, dude, he killed in the Wolf of Wall Street. So
But dude, honestly,
Well, I was only disappointed because I want Tom Jane.
the
back,
dude
but
from the Purge
the
Anarchy
dude
would have been
from
my
the Purge
first
Anarchy
pick.
would
If we
be
couldn't,
the perfect fucking.
in a
I
perfect
need to see
world,
that now. You guys keep hyping it up. Like,
in a perfect world, okay, I'll explain it in a
I
second.
think he's the closest that anyone could get to Thomas Jane's Punisher.
I'll say in a perfect world, we just get Thomas Jane again. I'm like, if Ryan Reynolds can get a second chance at playing a Marvel, well, he's playing a Marvel character, he was playing a DC. But he get a second chance at a superhero movie. Well, actually, you know what? He did play another Marvel character. He played Deadpool originally, but that
The
movie
X-Men
was
one.
dog shit.
That's a good point because
Yeah.
you think he played Deadpool in a shitty movie and he played a shitty version of Deadpool.
I feel
So,
like-
like,
you know
you're
what's
right.
funny,
The
like-
fact that he can get another shot.
You know
at it.
what?
In the
Before you
beginning of
say
that
that-
movie, I feel like Deadpool was
The first
not
10
that
minutes
bad.
when Deadpool slices
Yeah, like,
that bullet apple,
that's
all
Deadpool.
right, we're
Dude,
at
the
something.
first
Dude,
like
when
30 minutes of X-Men Origins Wolverine is pretty good.
Arms. That's when it threw me off.
Yeah,
He
like,
had
once
swords
they
come out of
recreated
his
it.
arms. I was like,
Anyone who's
He's
not
like-
even a
he's
fan of
fucking
Deadpool
weird.
knows that he's like Spider-Man in the sense that he's the most sarcastic he's not a good character. He's like
He's a dick, dude.
Yeah,
That's
he's just really sarcastic and full of jokes. It's like, so why would you tape it or they sew his mouth
like
shut?
that's the most. That's the worst thing they could have done.
And then he had laser beam shoot out of his eyes or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Really?
So I think the
I must have
funniest
blocked that
part-
from my head. I don't remember that.
You're
shit.
like, I don't want to remember.
He has Cyclops eyes, but I think the
Everyone
funniest thing
forgot
about
about that
Deadpool is
movie.
the fact that he just breaks the fourth wall so consistently.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that works. In the
That's what I
movie.
love about him so much. Is like the fact that he'll just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna interact with you faggots for like half a second, but don't acknowledge it. We're just gonna go back to what I was
Fun
doing."
fact: the entire cast of Silicon Valley went to the set and auditioned to play like one of his sidekick characters in that movie, and none of them got it. But they're like, it was just fun to go and see the set. But my point is like, if Ryan Reynolds can play in two shitty superhero movies, one where he played Deadpool, which was like arguably the worst Deadpool iteration ever, and then in Green Lantern, which again is not his fault, but like he is the star of that movie, so he's obviously the forerunner of someone to hate.
Yep.
Then why can't Thomas Jane, who, if we go back, the first Punisher, highly underrated,
it's
amazing.
pretty-
I know it got shit on for some reason.
What was
and
the
I
name?
fucking love
What was
that
the name
movie
of the
so
short video?
much.
Like
It was a good
Laundry
story.
something.
It was Dirty
Yeah.
Laundry.
Dirty Laundry. That thing is fucking.
That was fucking
phenomenal.
cool, too.
It's by the guy who did Death Sentence, right?
Yeah. No.
Wait,
No, he's the guy who did the new Power Rangers reboot.
Yep.
Oh, was it? Yeah, that guy fucking. He did because the guy that did that did Detention, which is that'll be my movie. If we're recommending a movie, here's a movie that I guarantee you no one has seen. There's a movie called Detention, and it's a horror comedy, and it starts off like the first couple minutes are really obnoxious,
I'll wipe it up.
but like keep watching because it is so fucking. I remember me and Willie were watching it one day, and it's like I almost don't want to spoil it, but like there is time travel in this movie, and it's like it's such a fucking weird mind. It's like Donnie Darko if it wasn't quite as serious.
And when you if you do watch it and you've seen Dan Cook, don't run.
Oh yeah, Dan Cook is in it, but he's also funny in it. So it's like and it's also
Ironic, right?
See, that's the thing. I was trying to recommend it to Matt and Michelle, and I was like, all right, so it's the kid from Hunger Games.
What's his name?
Oh, the white kid.
Yeah, the main
Okay, I know
guy.
exactly what- Was he
And-
supposed to be in like some new superhero movie? Oh no, he
He was auditioning for
he
Spider-Man.
auditioned for Spider-Man.
I would have given it to him.
Yeah, I'd be
honestly.
alright with that. But
The
they
guy
wanted
that
to
got
go
to play
really
Spider-Man
young.
is so puny, and I understand that Spider-Man is puny, but I don't like his name's Tom Holland, I think.
Dude, if they would have had Donald Glover. that
Donald
would-
Glover was just for
Why
sure.
won't they just give us what we want? Like, just let us have a Donald Glover Spider. It would be
Because
so rad,
Because
dude.
we're still gonna pay for it. It doesn't fucking matter.
But I know, but like in a world where you have
Let's
a
make
perfect
another
world-
Netflix series called. They don't have. Well, they technically have the rights to it now in a weird agreement where they're like, all right, well, Sony can still make Spider-Man. Is it Sony or is it Fox? It's Sony.
Sony.
Sony's like, we'll still make Spider-Man, but you have to have our producers and our
Yeah.
screenwriters on
Well,
set.
did you hear? They talked about this on Batman on Batman, which is Kevin Smith's excellent podcast about like it's not just about Batman, but like all kind of pop culture stuff now. But they talk about how like Sony in the agreement made a list, and it was like these are things that Spider-Man can't do, and it was like he can't do drugs, he can't like
Skateboard.
I can't remember the other word.
He can
I remember
drive
he can't do
train.
drugs was one, but then like they start going off like he can't be gay, he has to be white, he can't be a girl, and it's just like wow, it's like
You guys really just don't trust anyone.
yeah, it's like I don't know. See, to me, I'm always like it just.
Do you know how like important? It sounds so stupid when I say it, but you know how important that would be if we had like a black Spider-Man.
Well, here's
Okay.
the thing. Okay, like I'm an amateur screenwriter. Like I've written one that I completed, and I'm working on my second one right now. And I don't, when I'm writing the thing, I never in my head am like, this guy's white, this guy's black, this guy's Asian or whatever. You just write a character, and it should be, and this is how it should always be when they're casting a movie, whoever's the best actor for that role. Like,
Whoever fits the
and
character.
I think Donald Glover, without even seeing like an audition, I think Donald Glover would fucking knock it out of the park. But he's getting to an age, he's not going to be young forever.
He's aging himself out of the role.
Yeah, and it's like, in a world where you have Miles Morales is Ultimate Spider-Man, and in the comics they just merge the worlds together so that now he is. You have the Amazing Spider-Man, which is Peter Parker, and then you have it's just called Spider-Man. Is a new comic that's going to be Miles Morales. It's like they call it adjectiveless Spider-Man.
Wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man like one of the best-selling ones too for a while?
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, basically because it's I don't want to fuck this up, but I think it's Brian Michael Bendis is writing it. I might be wrong. But the guy,
We have
it's
such a low listener rate that I doubt anyone is
Yeah.
so niche that they would like no fuck you,
But
Robert.
it's a unique in that it's the same writer for the entire fucking run. And Ultimate Spider-Man came out in like 2000, 2001.
At this point, if we had any hate, that's just good for us because if someone's talking about us, that means they're talking to someone else. Like, I need to check those fucking shitheads out.
But here's the thing with Spider-Man is it's like everyone loves Spider-Man, but can you name a good Spider-Man story? Like you think about someone. I'm not the first person to make this point. I heard this somewhere else, but it's like when you think. Actually, I think I overheard this in the comic shop. It's like when you think about.
Oh, shout outs to a shop called Quest.
Yeah, a shop called Quest. I have this autism where I love going to comic stores whenever I travel, and I'll just check out whatever the local shop is. I
None
have
of them have
never ever seen a better comic shop than the one in Redlands, California, and Claremont, California. It's a shop called Quest. fucking just shout out to those guys. I fucking
If
love
you're in
that
the
store.
Redlands area, it's off State Street and
In downtown Redlands.
State and Church, right? Or State and
Citrus.
Citrus. Okay.
But
Citrus.
what was I getting
Right
at?
across the street from CVS.
Oh, I overheard one of the guys talking one time. He's like, when you hear Batman, like people in their heads can list off like Dark Knight Returns, Long Halloween, Court of Owls. Like there's so many classic Batman
I
stories.
was actually about to start reading Court of Owls. I keep hearing
Court of Owls is great. Yeah, that would be a great movie. But when you think of Spider-Man, it's like what there's like Kraven's Last Hunt is a good one. Death of Gwen Stacy. It's like, but like you can't. There's not like a seminal Spider-Man story. But if you're listening and you've always wanted to read a Spider-Man story, and you don't know where to start with issue 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man from like 2000 or whatever, and just read the entire fucking run
2002
because it's so good. Like it is, they fucking nailed it. So good. Like
so good.
so good. You're gonna love it. It's
Title
so
of this
good.
podcast is so good.
Isaiah met Obama?
No, it's a.
I
It's said
heard that earlier.
On Nate's fridge is a picture of his older brother Isaiah with a wax figure Obama that looks a lot like Obama, which I don't know what that says about Obama, but he's pretty flashy.
All right.
But yeah, so John or Nick, do you guys have any movies that you've seen recently or that you love that you want to recommend?
Strange Wilderness.
Strange Wilderness. All right, I'll back that.
Underrated. Yeah.
Strange Wilderness, fucking fantastic comedy.
Steve Zahn is like one of the most underrated actors of all time. Like,
Oh,
shout
yeah.
out to Steve Zahn. Fucking
You know what?
Joyride is such a good.
I don't
good
care how
movie.
much hate I'm going to get for this. I legitimately enjoyed the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies because of
Oh,
Steve Zahn's
those are pretty
character.
fun.
Dude,
I
they're
never
really
saw
good.
Is it's worth watching, really?
Yeah.
If you're in a
Steve
room
Zahn.
with a little
Do I need
kid,
to smoke
I
first?
don't know
or-
why you're
Yeah,
in a
dude.
room.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
I was hanging out with our younger brother Joel. For those that are listening, he's like 10, and I was watching with him, and I was like laughing more than he was, and I was like, Joel, that's funny.
Dude,
he's like, I don't know, these movies aren't that great.
The
And
first one,
you know what's funny?
He has like every one of those books.
No, dude, okay, that's where I was going with this. Joel said the most pretentious thing a kid his age could say. He goes, the books are better.
Oh Jesus.
My little brother said the Diary of a Wimpy Kid
He's
books
taking
are
after
better.
me.
And I like literally lost. I was like, okay, so I guess that really has no age. Little kid's like, no, the book was better. Clifford. So yeah, my little brother's recommendation.
Yeah,
is
Joel
any
would
of
not
the
recommend.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
What are we
movies.
talking
I think the
about?
first one's the best. I think we saw the first one and the second one.
I saw the second one first, then watched the first one. But like the older brother character is funny, and then Steve Zahn
Yeah.
is he his
Older
dad or like
Yeah,
his
it's
stepdad?
his dad.
Okay, great.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
dude, no
He
shout
kills it.
outs to fucking Seth MacFarlane for Ted 2. And
Oh,
let
is
me
it
let me
awful? Oh, you saw it?
let me just say real quick that me and Willie went and saw Ted 1, and I fucking loved it. And I know
Yeah.
I like Family Guy a lot, and I know
Yeah.
that's like an unpopular opinion, and I know people hate Family Guy, but I
It's a
love
classic,
that show. And Ted, the first Ted movie is a fucking good movie. I enjoyed it. It's got a lot of funny shit in it. It's a good movie. But then Ted 2 comes out. First of all, it's sad when I'm like, hey, does anyone go see Ted 2? Not a single person I know.
Because
is-
they released the most uninteresting
Yeah.
trailer of all time.
Because literally everyone's just like, but it's not going to be good. I'm like, yeah,
Well, and then in that movie, you actually do for a comedy. Well, certain comedies you do, but like you cared about the characters, so you care about Mark Wahlberg.
yeah,
and
like
Mila
Mark
Kunis.
Wahlberg is an actor too.
Mila
so-
Kunis didn't want to do the movie because she's pregnant with Ashton Kutcher's baby. That's crazy.
and
to
they
me.
don't explain it in the movie either.
They don't explain it.
All
She's
they
just
say is
gone.
that he got a divorce. They barely touch
But
on
at
it.
the end of the first movie, like it's Ted saved their marriage, so that doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense to me.
that's the fucking. First of all, if you couldn't get Mila Kunis, you just shouldn't have done it.
Just
'Cause-
wait another year.
Yeah. But second of all, and I feel like, again, when I say this, people are going to be like, well, no shit, Sherlock. But like, what happened with fucking Ted 2 is that you watch the movie and it becomes very clear very early in the movie that the entire movie is made up of leftover jokes from the Family Guy writers' room that they couldn't fit into
Family
Guy
Guy or Ted
episodes.
1.
Yeah, because like Family Guy, it cuts to random shit. And the first Ted didn't do that. And not that I remember, at least not very often, where it just
He
cut.
did like once or twice.
Yeah, but like, because that's kind of his writing style. But you gotta respect that, like, much like I don't like Eminem, but I respect that he's got talent. Like, you gotta respect that, like, Seth MacFarlane really pioneered like a writing technique where it's like you say something and you cut away to something else. Because even I've kind of aped that a couple times in the screenwriting I've done. But like this movie, there's parts where they're literally like, okay, we're gonna go here now. And weirdly enough, the only part of the movie that made me laugh was like, in apropos of fucking nothing, they're like, oh, we're gonna go see a what do you call it, an improv show. Which, by the way, they already did a whole episode about fucking Joe Quagmire and Peter try to form an improv comedy.
An impression of
Yeah, of John Wayne.
yeah.
And so it's like right away I'm like, well, this had to be a leftover joke they couldn't fit into the Family Guy episode that they did about the same fucking topic. And the only thing that made me laugh though is like him and Ted are sitting in the audience and like, all right, we need a location, and they're like, Baltimore, and then like he's like, we need a person, and they're like Robin Williams, and I was like, oh, okay, you got me, triggered. Yeah, that was a shit movie. That don't
you
waste
know
your time.
what? For that movie, and like, it would probably make sense once I say it. I felt like A Million Ways to Die in the West was a great example, or it was a great indicator of how good that movie was going to be.
That movie.
So like everyone's so bad, dude. Yeah. I saw that too, and it was like, oh god.
Well, I think everyone was like, "Oh shit, he made that movie." And then I think Ted 2 was too little, too late. Like they needed to follow it up the next year, not 2 years later.
It's like I feel bad because I like Seth MacFarlane as a person from what I've seen. Like he seems like a cool guy. I find it interesting that he's like very like pro gay rights and all these other things, but like people are like, oh, he's so anti like Semitic and anti women and shit. It's like not really. It's like fucking. It's that Dead Kennedys thing where they have a song called "Kill the Poor." It's like they don't believe that. They're just it's a joke. It's like fucking Jonathan Swift.
If you
like
really listen to the Dead Kennedys, you know that they're not for killing the poor at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're highly political and about like helping other people out. Like listen to the song "Holiday in Cambodia." It's clearly bringing to light a serious situation that's happening in Cambodia or one that happened.
See, I remember I had an argument one time with the creative writing teacher about fucking American Psycho, where she was just like, "That's the book that supports murder and rape and all this stuff," and I'm like, nobody supports murder and rape, you fucking idiot. Like, it's a commentary on like the excess of the '80s and all this stuff, and just like the soulless vacuum of people who like are obsessed with how they look but don't care about how they act.
Which is why someone actually did it in film class, but they missed on all of like the social commentary thing. They were just talking about how. So like I took a film class, and at the end of it we had to do a presentation. I did Taxi Driver, killed it, by the way. I mean, no one can disprove me on that because you weren't there. Fuck you. But this girl picked American Psycho because it was her favorite movie. But when she did the presentation, she was only talking about how controversial the book and the movie are, and I was like, you didn't even miss. Like, you completely missed the fact that it's like talking about cultures in the '80s and all that, and like the fact that he keeps bringing up Huey Lewis in the news and like Hip to Be Square and all that, and then the business card thing.
There's multiple times with the music where he'll say something about this song which was by this band and it's actually not by that band, so it just shows he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Like he's putting on a facade. Like the whole character is like a great scene is like when they're doing the business card thing and it's like super intense for no reason because like everyone's like, I'm trying to one up you. Yeah. And like him doing the music thing is him also trying to one up someone because like they clearly don't know anything about music because they're retarded. So he's just like, so Huey Lewis in the news, he made Hip to Be Square.
Well, there's also if you want to go peel back and even further that ogre onion layer, there's the whole thing about
Shrek 4 coming soon, guys.
In the I can't remember if it's in the movie so much, but in the novel he keeps talking about how much he fucking loves the Talking Heads and like. At the time, the Talking Heads were always considered ahead of their time. They're kind of like the Pixies in as much as they're like intellectual pop music. Like that, David Byrne's a fucking like mad scientist of music. By the way, if you've never seen the Talking Heads concert film, Stop Making Sense, I fucking just got blazed out of my mind and watched that one time. It was like a religious experience. The music is so fucking good.
You sound like anyone who's a Pink Floyd fan. Like, have you seen The Wall?
Dude, well, here's the thing. I hate Pink Floyd, but I watched The Wall under the influence. And I was like, I get it.
Everybody ever.
I like how this is just pulling for something else. I remember for the longest time, it has a lot to do with me. You didn't want to watch It's Always Sunny because like I liked it because it's a brother thing. People do that.
It is. It's hard to explain because I don't want to hate you. But
the day I used to tell you, I was like, Rob doesn't like the show, and this is fucking brilliant. I remember one day Rob's like, I got really high and I watched It's Always Sunny, and it made sense.
Dude, okay, same thing happened where my friend Drew, shout out to Drew who doesn't listen, fucking loves wrestling, like fucking World Wrestling Entertainment, and I'm just like, what? No, I don't get that. I got high one time and watched it with him, and I was like, I get it now. Like, it's just something clicked where I was just like, oh, okay, all right, like, I got it.
That's what getting high does.
Yeah, I guess so, shit.
It clarifies the world.
It just like clarifies niche cultures for you. You're like, Jesus, I get it.
Cockfighting. Oh, I'm super high. This is great.
Stay away from that brony culture. You get high.
Dude, those guys aren't getting high.
I get it.
Yo, shout outs to Bronies. I only saw one of them at Anime Expo and I pointed his ass out instantly.
You're like, there he is, get him!
Bronies are like gay people in like the 60s and 70s. Like, if you really think about it, if they're seen in public, they get hate crimed instantly. Like
honestly, I have to give the guy who was the Brony props because that was one or two instances in like the 12 hours I was at Anime Expo where he actually made me look at him and go, Jesus fucking Christ, that's real.
I mean, do what you want, but it's like, you're gonna take shit for that.
Have
like,
some
just
respect.
Jesus, dude. Just know you're gonna take shit for watching a show that's literally aimed at little girls. Like, you can't argue that that
not
show.
Only that, they did a Q&A where like the guy was like, Try to ask them sexual
Q&A.
questions.
I saw that. Oh
And
my
the
god,
guy
dude.
literally cringes.
In front of like a crowd full of children.
And she's like, you do realize this is a show for kids? Like she's like straight up tells him that.
I saw that, and the woman's like, "Look, I'm not here for that. We're not a part of that. That's not."
Is that the famous quote where the guy's like, "God forbid a molester"?
Maybe I don't remember. I just remember that like it was really cringe. I don't know. It's like, oh my god, dude. Again, it's like here. I'm not mad at people who sit at home on a Saturday and watch like 10 episodes of My Little Pony. Like whatever. Like I've probably watched worse than that. But like, it's the
do go into detail.
it's the thing about like when you're like in your 20s and you're at a convention for a show for little girls and you're asking like, hey man, isn't it cool if they make like porno of like cartoon characters? It's just like, oh man, get your shit together. Like,
What the fuck is wrong with
I don't know. I don't know how to explain. I don't know why it upsets me, but it really does. You're just like, oh dude.
Because you're
people
like, that's not
that,
for you.
Like people like that shouldn't exist.
I don't know. Whatever. Because I feel bad for talking shit on people because like, you know, I watch a lot of anime.
There's a certain
shit
extent,
that's-
dude.
But anime's
There's a
cool.
certain
Yeah.
like, there's like that little fucking line where like as soon as you cross it, you're like, all right, dude, you went too fucking.
Because
far.
like, but I just know
Fucking
that like,
kill
because like I'm a grown man who has like a huge toy collection in my apartment, but it's like it's not to me. I don't know.
My glasses.
So I know what it's like for people to be like, that's stupid. I can't believe you like that. But
yeah,
it's
like I'm like the same as you. Where like I have a deep fucking appreciation for anime. Like I'm a quarter Japanese. I'm already like racially obligated to watch the shit out of anime, and I'm okay with that. But when I meet someone who's just like, dude, like, have you seen Kill la Kill? Like, it's probably one of the fucking greatest animes of our generation, and I'm like,
I honestly
why?
don't understand the what is it about that show that like people.
It's nothing. You want to know what that show is? It's High School of the Dead Part 2. You get to see fat titties and you get to see action.
But I feel like it's really popular with girls more so than dudes. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't.
There's a lot of girl cosplayers who cosplay.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
show.
well, I mean, first of all, I feel like that show was cosplay bait. It's like
it absolutely was.
the costumes were designed to get people to go, I want to dress like that.
Yeah, that's why I got that picture of the fucking Luna Laney. Shout out again, grab my nip. You're
There's
fucking
a
girl.
super hot chick that did like a couple of pictures dressed as is it Ryuko? Was that her name? Or,
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, I
This
appreciate
one's
that.
coming
But
up.
Well, I hate to cut this short, but the V-Lards are here, so we should probably wrap it up.
Should we just invite them in? You guys should have Best Bros. Just
Yeah,
invite 'em
we're
in?
trying to get BestBros with special guest Faggot, and
what's the time?
Dick Clipper.
Hour
The
30.
Kevs.
So we
Dude,
just
the
keep
kids are
recording.
here?
I say we should just cut it in half, like right here, like literally right after I say right now.
Okay.
Cut it in half, and then then we'll just put part 1 and part 2.
How about I just stop recording and we'll just start another one and I'll just do part 1 and part 2.
Sure, because I know you won't edit it the way I said to. Shout out to Best Bros. Thanks for listening, Best Bros Podcast.